And we are live. What's going on, guys?
How are you doing there, bud?
I'm, man, I always get prepared for my recordings, for my live stream. I always do a bunch of research and, naive of me of thinking that mainstream media would be covering this. Because I like to have kind of a mainstream, just like a live stream in the back. And as the results are coming in, we just like, oh, we'll put the sound on, see what they're talking about. Wah, wah.
Are they not covering it at all?
Nope, zero.
Really? I'm actually
One
kind
single.
of surprising.
The only, funny enough, here is the most live stream coverage that I can see right now, and you're gonna laugh. Coming from where it's coming from,
Probably us.
It could be
the Toronto Stars covering it by Old School
live
Post.
Updates.
Yeah, live updates. But seriously, the only live stream out there is Northern's Perspective that's doing it. I've had it play in the background, but again, it's
ours will be more fun.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Like that doesn't even compare. But
no
just to show you, that's their coverage right now.
Oh, these guys.
So,
right on.
Yes,
they're the ones who did the debate.
Yes, 100%. The debate that I played on the show, yeah, that was them. But the point I'm trying to make is that nobody's covering it. We're literally us and them covering it. Ours are going to be way more entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
But
way more.
But before I start, I found three tools that we're going to use to somehow keep track of this. Hopefully keep track of this.
Are we having is there like a there's not like a channel
this
or
is
we can watch, eh?
No, this is Elections Canada. That's their update website. Look at the list. It goes on and on and on.
That's the final or the what is it? The never-ending ballot or the what do they call themselves?
The longest ballot committee.
Longest ballot, yes.
But yeah, that's the ballot, man. Like that's just insane.
That's
but
wild. How is that? Like how is that allowed? It's very clearly like meant to be just to cause problems. Like these people are not actually expecting to be elected.
No.
214 candidates.
If we're
214, insane.
That's wild.
No.
That's wild.
Yes.
Well, to answer that question, Rob, they all followed the rules. You got 100 signatures to get on there, but there's an organization doing that for them. So hopefully they learn the lesson here and they change the rules. So that you can only have one person register as an official agent, because majority of these have the same person as the official agent.
They all do.
Yeah.
They absolutely all do.
Something. Yeah,
this seems like a pretty easy problem to solve.
Well, that would be one way to do it. You'd have to get only one candidate per official agent. That would get rid of this attempt for sure.
What is an official agent for those of us?
They're the ones that actually have to do the bank account, do your financials, make sure that all your media is approved. Like the candidate basically has no authority over the campaign. The official agent does.
Really? Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all your bank accounts and all your signs, it has to say authorized by the official agent for Jason Levine or insert name here. And they're the ones that are putting themselves on the line when it comes to the campaign side of things.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. How's it going,
Yep. Carmilla Wayne? Good evening.
Guys, we are covering, apparently the only ones covering the Pierre Poilievre by-election, but that's all right because this is the only place you want to be here anyways. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So we're the only unbiased one. This is how I'm going to say, because there's Northern Perspective, but let's be honest, they're biased. Like they're extremely pro Pierre Poilievre.
They're pro Poilievre.
Yeah. But they're not hiding it, right? That's who they support. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not. They don't tell you that they're unbiased. I was just looking at their channel earlier, and it actually says we don't claim to be unbiased.
Yeah, no, that's
but
fair.
We'll do our best to be.
Yeah,
which I wish mainstream media would do that too, right?
It's all you can ask for, as just someone being honest or open about their biases, because we obviously all have them to some extent.
I'll be open with my bias. I am biased for Alberta. Whatever is good for Alberta, I have my bias there.
Yeah. Oh, we have Cornelius.
Thank you.
Now we can start.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cornelius.
Careful, Jason. There's going to be a lot of gay jokes now that Cornelius is here.
Yeah.
Joke, especially towards Rob. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's two tools that I found, and they're just terrible. So you have the Elections Canada, and then you have this. The guy from Northern Perspective was talking about, through 3.8 Canada, he was just talking about the projection. So 75% plus or minus right here is what they're expected for Pierre Poilievre.
A win by. What was the guy who held the seat? What did he win by?
Damien.
See if you could.
Yeah.
See, it's right there. It's brilliant. It's right next to the.
Oh, I got you.
This 82. Is the projection today.
Yeah,
82. So as you can see, they've been winning pretty easily over the past few elections.
All right, just for fun, let's have a prediction. What do you guys think? Give me an exact number. I'll say. Well, you two go first, guys. Who listen? Give us a number.
I'd like to see a 6. Start with a 6. I'd like to see that because that would give Alberta independence a bit of a boost. But it's probably going to be 73. I'm going with 71.
Yeah, I was thinking 71.
All right, Nico, you got 71.
Yeah, Nico,
65.
65.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. I think that BC is gonna. How do we call her earlier, Rob?
Oh,
BCD, BDC.
The BDC.
Bonnie.
Big
BDC. Yeah, that's how people were calling it.
Yeah, that's what one of the commenters called her the BDC today. And I was like, oh yes.
But there's there's literally only 4 candidates that I could somewhat know. Obviously, Pierre Poilievre. You have Bonnie Critchley, which if it wasn't for mainstream media, nobody would have known. But
according to mainstream media, she's like the front runner. You would think by all the coverage she's getting.
Yeah, you have Darcy Spady, which no idea who that guy was until I made the thumbnail for this show, and then Jonathan Bridges. Sorry,
he's the
PPC.
The PPC. Yeah,
I got you.
So obviously CPC, Pierre Poilievre, independent, Bonnie. Liberal candidate Darcy Spady, and the PPC candidate is Jonathan Bridges. But let's be honest, there's nobody else winning except Pierre Poilievre tonight. Like I don't know that somebody out there actually believes that this is a possibility.
No, it's not.
I want to get what you're smoking. Give me some of what you're smoking. I want to try what you're smoking because that's good.
Yeah.
No, I think the only question is by how much does he win? How much does he lose compared to the previous one?
Jason, can you expand a little bit on that? When you were saying you wanted to see him win in the 50s, how does that relate to
60s? I don't think he'll get all the way down to 50s, but a 6 in the front there, because it would be like a 20-point drop from the previous election in April, and that 20-point drop would be the independent movement.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So that's the angle that you're seeing it from is the Alberta sovereigntist movement. I got you.
Yeah, we had a provincial by-election recently, and 18 points went to the separatist candidate away from the UCP. So that's a large chunk. That's 1/5. And if the same thing happens here, we should see him drop from the low 80s to maybe the mid to low 60s.
So that's
what I'm
looking Would that be the United Party of Canada?
No, it's got United and Canada in it, so no.
Oh yeah, wow, it's late here, bro. Damn, would it be the NDP? No, now I'm kidding.
No, PPC is the only federal party that's open to independent Alberta.
So there's no, because I'm looking right now at the list on.
Now, let me clear that party. All these independents, including Bonnie, I think, are a lot more leaning towards that.
Really? So,
but none of them represent the movement per se.
Not that I've seen. No.
When you said in the by-election, is that in the in provincial by-elections?
Correct. Those are provincial by-elections,
and there actually is a separatist.
The Republican Party of Alberta is a separatist party. Cam Davies, we've had him on the show many times. That's his whole campaign. It's time to leave, become a Republican Party. So he's headed in that direction with that.
Oh, okay. And they got 18%, or
they did. We have 1/5. 1 out of every 5 votes went there.
That sounds wild.
Now UCP still won, but they lost a lot of support to him.
Okay, hold on. I need to take this. I love these.
Yeah,
types of
I was
comments.
looking at cranky old man. You're free.
So cranky old man is saying you're free to leave Canada at any time. Maybe move to Magatsville.
What
okay?
What was that about?
So,
Wow,
come on.
No,
you know exactly what that's about.
No, I understand what he's saying, but like we haven't even said anything that would even generate a comment like that. You know, like
here's the thing: he's obviously not in Alberta, and he's just making the point for us. We're not respected in Canada.
I mean, I'm a liberal. If that's if that makes any difference whatsoever, just out of curiosity, I'm just wondering how he jumps to Maggotsville. Just it's clearly.
Well, I think that's MAGA, so he's using MAGA, Make America Great Again.
Okay.
Yeah, Maggotsville.
He considers my prediction is the MAGA puppet will garner 63% more votes than the second place on the ballot.
Just to say though, but hold on, I did not think that Mark Carney was in this election. So who are we? So we were talking about right now, because the only person that I see supporting Trump is Mark Carney. He was just praising it over the weekend for how he was dealing with Russia and Ukraine. So cranky old man.
Oh, I did see
you can insult me all you want, but man, do your work. Show your work, bro. That's all we ask. You can disrespect all you want. That's fine. We have a microphone and you don't. But all to say, we're gonna show your comments, just make sure they're smart, because
also this is
bad. That's bad, brother.
Too, right? Like
we
try to. Yeah. I'm just explaining to cranky old man because I think he probably isn't familiar with the show. We kind of just we try to do away with like insults and stuff. Like if you disagree with things we say, that's perfectly cool. We'll put your comments up there, but just show us, explain what you actually disagree with, and tell us your position so that we can tear it to shreds or agree with you if it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like we're all just trying to have a conversation here.
Well, he's putting his bias out there. He's very honest.
Yeah. Well, we get that a lot on the show where people come in like super hot, and oftentimes we're just like, I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool. But there's 99% of the rest of the internet for that kind of shit. We do things a little bit differently, and once you explain it, a lot of times they actually come back with, "Oh, okay, well, here's my position," and then sometimes they become regular watchers of the show.
That'd be great. And by the way, they can also find me online at the Levine Show. So we were putting this out on X and Facebook, but I see a lot of my old friends on YouTube here. So Wilf, go and make sure you subscribe and check us out as we are doing stuff on YouTube again.
Just wanted to point this out. Wise guy's saying that there's something wrong with the sound. It's echoing. Very hard to hear clearly. Everyone.
You guys sound great.
Like they're talking at one.
Yeah, I thought it sounded okay. It might just be that we talked all at once there for a second or two, but.
Come on, wise guy. You should be used to that. Rob always talks over people.
There should be no echo, though.
Give it up. This is the pot. The pot calling the kettle black here. Are you kidding me?
Wise guy, check your system, because we all have headphones and separate location. There should be no echo.
Cashmere says okay. Oh, he says okay now. Yeah, it was probably just a split second where.
Oh, it's okay now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That can be ceaseless. They like to play with the knobs on us.
Yeah. That's
Cashmere says, "Don't feed the trolls." No, for sure. If someone insists on consistently being trollish, we'll ignore them. But a lot of times, if we do like to take that first initial troll and just kind of explain, we do things a little bit differently here. Most times they seem to actually change their tone and stick around. And Joe Stradamus is one of our regulars, and he disagrees with us all the time. But he's he'll be the first to say it's a great show, because we can disagree with him without disrespecting him, and vice versa. So that's sort of what we're all about. Becky,
hey guys, guys, just a little shout out there. If you're on X, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to restream this feed. This is how you can help us. But as you can see right there, the conversation happens on YouTube. So join us at the Poli Orphans on the YouTube channel. Once you're there, like, comment, and make sure to subscribe if you believe in independent media, because unfortunately I still don't like that term. I really, really don't like it, but it seems that we are considered independent media, and we're not backed by any political party. So we are truly independent. So if you enjoy what we're doing, just make sure to subscribe.
Independent journalism.
Get some nice numbers on X tonight, right on X.
Yeah. X's the numbers are doing well. I guess there's a hunger out there for the Pierre Poilievre by-election in Battleford Crow's Feet. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Battlefeet Crowford, or I don't know.
And that's the only one, man. Like I'm looking right now, nobody else is covering it. It's
Right.
really,
I
really
always like
just
these.
us, man.
I always like these sort of special episodes. They're always more relaxed, right? And I mean, the show's pretty relaxed in general, but even more so, and we can all just kind of shoot the shit and have a good time while we wait for the results to come in.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. It still blows my mind that nobody seems to be covering this, because at the end of the day, you're still seeing
It's a pretty big story.
There's no race.
Is it
though.
because
there's no race? There's no liberal.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
That's right.
Yeah, if there's a liberal that was in contention or NDP that was in contention, then sure, they'd be doing it. But he's going to walk away with
they
it.
have Bonnie. But they have Bonnie. She could save the day.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Jackass says, if Pierre doesn't win by a landslide, the entire electoral system is corrupt. But Jason, you were just saying, so what's the dynamic there that people who are supporting the sovereignty movement will likely vote for the PPC candidate?
I don't know. They may put it somewhere else, but there's no splitting the vote here. It's not going to change government. This seat's pretty safe for everybody. So now's the chance to go ahead and put where you want. I think Grant Abram from the United Party of Canada is going to do well compared to what his candidate did before. Christian Heritage Party, Jeff Willerton, I think it is. He might pick up a lot more votes than he did their party did last time around, because it's safer to go ahead and bet or vote your conscience on this one.
Well,
you're not going to change the government, so
it could be really interesting because everyone's going to actually be able to vote for who they actually want. No one's worried about strategic voting or anything. Everyone knows Poilievre's going to win. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what those numbers come in. Wilf kind of basically recounting there what you were saying earlier, Jason.
Yeah, I'd like to see a 6 before his number. That will be a really big sign that, like a mini referendum on independence here in Alberta. If he loses 20 points, that's a big message from
really, and that's how you would see it, eh?
Absolutely, because why would he gain support? He's the leader. He's like, if you're not aligning with him, because that's the most important issue for Albertans right now, at least a large chunk, closer to 50% now, and 60% of Conservatives are already on this as well. That's an issue that is important to them. And Poilievre has been clear; he's not going to touch it. One prediction I made earlier today was after this election, Poilievre's likely going to come out even stronger against independence for Alberta, because I think he was staying away from that subject because he knows how many people are going to be against him on that one. So he kind of stayed away from it, but he's going to come out stronger after this one. I think
stronger against.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay. I added the YouTube channel everywhere now. Okay, good.
Good man.
No, it is not. Jason, what's going on, bro?
Jason,
no, it's not it's not a Senate seat. It is a riding seat. So it is
Pierre Poilievre's
House of Commons MP.
House of Commons. It would be an MP. I'm just trying to think what's the equivalent in the US.
Would be like a
congressman
seat.
Yeah, it would be a congressman. Yeah. So they're just having a by-election because the congressman in that riding left in order to allow the party leader, the Conservative Party leader in Pierre Poilievre, to gain his seat again so that he could be the party leader, because now we had a party leader with no seat.
There's no,
so he can't be in the house. He has to be screaming from the outside.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Yeah, Jason's probably
doesn't look
watching
too good.
The show enough, to know Poilievre. Basically, he's the leader of the Conservatives. He lost, which means, and he even lost a seat, which means he can't be a leader without a seat. So they basically made an offer to the guy that held that seat that he couldn't refuse. I don't know if there was some
whatever that is,
and make you an offer I can't refuse. I don't know if there was some Godfather tactics going on, but maybe Luca Brasi paid him a visit or something. Why do you think he did that, Jason? Like,
I'm sure he's going to be set up just fine, but he did it before his pension kicked in, so financially it wasn't a good move for him. There was some seats in Ontario that would have been easy to get as well for Pierre around Ottawa. There's a few places, but for some reason, I think it's because this was the highest riding in Alberta. The higher riding was in Saskatchewan for Conservatives, but this was the second highest riding in the last federal election for results. So it was an for sure win, I guess is the way they looked at it. Because if you remember, there was conversation about an Edmonton riding giving up his seat. He actually came out and said, "Hey, I volunteer my seat," but he just took that seat from the NDP. Like, it was a close race, and he had it in the 40s. I called it out right away. I'm like, if you guys do that, the Liberal NDP are going to team up. They're going to run one candidate, take that seat back, and then Pierre has another loss. So all of a sudden, they're now in Battle River-Crowfoot, the strongest seat in Alberta for the Conservatives.
Do you see that as a sign of weakness?
Yeah. Basically, well, I think his loss of his seat during the election was a sign of weakness right there.
Oh yeah,
because Judge Nate, Pierre, and myself all got the same result, no seat at the end of that election.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. I got just as many seats as Pierre did in the general. So,
Anastasia, join the YouTube channel at the.
It is better to watch from YouTube. If
everything's better,
if you can go either or.
Yeah, go check
I wanted to take this comment here because it's cranky old man again, but he's saying Pierre Poilievre maybe the leader, but he's not a leader. At best, he's an internet meme. I don't think he's a leader either. I'm not a fan of Pierre Poilievre at all. Weak sauce. That dude is not a leader. Weak leadership skills. But at the end of the day, he's still going to win that seat tonight. Like, unless I don't see how it would be even possible for us to consider him not to win tonight, unless there's massive interference or Election Canada shits the bed again, like they did in Terrebonne. But I don't see that happening.
No. I just don't know why the Conservative Party is so eager to keep Poilievre. Like,
I don't know if they are though. I don't know.
It's
if
weird,
they're so
right?
eager.
Like, usually when you get
you don't think
you lose like that, when you were so far ahead and then you just completely shit the bed, that's an excuse for, usually there's someone hungry in the wings, right? And they rise to the top, and that didn't happen here.
No, but I still think, and I called this many moons ago, that Poilievre was part of a group of 5 that got put on the WEF website in 2022, and I think he was pre-selected. And that's who wants him in here, the WEF, the globalists. He's going to work with them. He may say, hey, I got taken off the website and all that good stuff, but he got put back on during the election. And he's still connected to them, I believe. Leslyn Lewis would have been a better leader. Even Larry Brock, I think, would have been a better leader. There was a few people who won their seat that I think.
Giovanni, yes. The guy that was talking against the temporary worker visa program. I actually quite like that guy. He's green though.
Yeah.
Very, very green, but I like that guy.
You mean green and like inexperienced or?
Yeah, because I think it's his first election that he wins. So I don't think he's ever been. So it's just that, this is a problem that most people don't know, but do you guys realize that it costs more than 200 grand? I think it's at least 200 grand. I think it's closer to 3. But the last selection of in order to enter the race to the Conservative Party leadership, it was something like 200 grand or more just to present your name. So you and I, normal commoners, are not.
The peasants aren't allowed in, right?
It's the peasants, club. You know what? That's a good term. Yeah, the peasants are not allowed,
and we aren't in it. And that's exactly why. It's exactly why they have that. It's gatekeeping, right? And it's both.
Of course it is.
It's
of course it is.
Conservatives.
Because as much as they're going to sell the idea that it's because they want to protect they don't want to have too many candidates. You could have the membership of the Conservative Party. You could say that you need 5% of the votes in order to be part of the leadership race, whatever that percentage of numbers should be. But you don't need to charge 200 grand. That's for sure that commoners, just the regular folks, cannot join. Like a guy like Jonathan Bridges could not be a representative for the Conservative Party. He could never be the leadership, like the leader of the Conservative Party.
The party wants to be able to select, right? They want to anoint. They don't want to, and they see it down the side.
Anoint. Up. Christian connotation. Oh, hello. Wow. Yes, the atheist with the Christian reference. Wow. What do you think?
I grew up in the
I can see it on your lips.
I grew up.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. If the Conservative Party was a fair process and candidates can come forward, Maxime Bernier would have been the leader, not Andrew Scheer of the Conservative Party. But we learned during that particular race that it's all.
Was he Rob, do you think?
He was.
In 2017?
I didn't follow.
Oh, yeah. In 2017, 100% he was wrong.
Yeah, he won every single round except the last one. I'll bring Rob up to date on this one. Every single round for the leadership race except for the last one. And what happened with Maxine, and he shared this many times all over the internet, he was approached by the dairy cartel, who's very strong in his riding, and he's been pushing against the dairy cartel for a long time. Get rid of supply management, and they said, listen, if you leave us alone, we'll put our support behind you. Well, he said no. He's not going to do that. He actually wants to represent and do things correctly. The very next thing that we saw was Andrew Scheer drinking from a 1 liter of milk, because he took. I'm not joking. There's a picture of him drinking a 1 liter of milk as he wins the leadership.
It's a sign of corruption in Canada.
No, correct. Right at the last minute,
that's just a coincidence.
Big milk.
He needs the calcium.
As Jason has his big glass of milk.
You guys see
this is my well water. We made this ourselves.
Drew
conspiracy theories.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yes,
conspiracy theories keep turning into conspiracy fact. So that's right. Keep watching.
6 months, Jason. 6 months. The difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth. 6 months.
6 to 9 months. Yeah, it's like a baby. It's when it's ready, it'll come out.
Thank you for the tip, sir. It's $2, and that's Drew Cover for next PM. Yes, I can support that. You got my.
What a mustache like his.
Yes, with a mustache like that, brother. That's a prime ministerial mustache if I've ever seen one.
Yes, 100%. So I'm. See Harper. No, but he's making good points. There are a couple of guys in there that are saying that Harper was no better, and it's true. If you look behind the scene, he was a globalist too. And do you remember when we covered the ministers sworn when they were being they were not pleading, but they were being selected officially, and Harper was there shooting the shit with Trudeau. They're like big buddies. Just it's like,
oh yeah, like it's a big club, man.
Remember
who gave Mark Carney the governor of Canada, Bank of Canada? It was Harper. It was under Harper who put him in place.
Yep, 100%.
That's right.
I want to let me take this one because I'm just curious. Hey, Tracy Martin, you say I love Pierre Poilievre. I think he will make an amazing leader. How so? Can you explain why? Because he's had the chance to be an amazing leader for years. Even during the last election, he had great chance to didn't do it. Even during this by-election, he didn't bring much to the table. So I respect your opinion. I'm not there to bash you by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm curious. I'm curious to say why you think he will make an amazing leader when he hasn't made an amazing leader for 3 years now?
Yeah, and I want to remind Tracy that after Trudeau prorogued government, Poilievre was at a supermajority according to the polls. Like if election was done in January at the beginning of the year, he would have had a supermajority. He didn't pivot. He sounded a lot like Carney. He took the same path forward when it came to Trump. He turned down Joe Rogan twice. He didn't go down and have conversations.
Big mistakes.
And I think these are just rookie mistakes. So I'm not sure where she believes he's going to be a strong leader, because he hasn't really demonstrated that other than being the leader. He hasn't really become a leader in my eyes either.
He was prepared to race against Trudeau. And he had that all sorted out.
I could win against Trudeau at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Once they put Carney in, he didn't change the game plan whatsoever. He continued to race against Trudeau, and just it was wild. I couldn't believe it. Like the polls had completely flipped, and he just didn't react to it. Did not change his strategy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And love the U.S. or not, love what Trump did. We've spoken about this, you and I, so many times. But hate Trump, love Trump. When Biden got replaced by Kamala Harris, he pivoted. He did all those podcasts that probably Pierre Poilievre was invited to, and he won. But he was leading by the same amount. The numbers were the same that he had Trump versus Biden, that Poilievre had versus Trudeau, but he didn't adapt it. The numbers went almost equal when Kamala first got put in place, and then the numbers just disappeared. But I don't understand why Pierre Poilievre had all the same chances, and the only podcast that he did was Jasmine Lane, which good for her, but there was nothing.
It wasn't a real
interview.
You knew all the questions beforehand, and that
was just like Jordan Peterson when he was on his podcast. It was a softball interview that was not there to ask hard questions, and that Joe Rogan would have asked those hard questions because he doesn't care. He doesn't care, right? He's there.
Why don't they just Sorry,
I don't know.
Sorry, Nico, finish.
No, all I'm saying is that it's unfortunate because he had all the chances in the world to pivot, and you can say that mainstream media in Canada is against him. They're against anybody that's not liberal. So, but that's not an excuse because that's our reality. So you need to be able to pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the National Post said it a lot too, Rob. They had a whole column about these two are they're indistinguishable. They sound exactly the same on all the major topics. And and I'm gonna put this out there, had Poilievre stolen the PPC platform or several pieces of it, he would have been a lot more aligned with his base, and a lot more people would have supported him, especially on immigration. Because even the Liberals said there's a problem here. But Poilievre still said, I'm not going to deport. I'll deport the same ones that Trudeau said, which was like 30,000 out of the 2 million that need to go. Yeah. So he became too indistinguishable from Carney. So the people that were out east, better the devil you know than the one you don't. Yep. So they went with Carney.
Carney ran to the right for sure, and Poilievre didn't. He ran slightly to the left, right? Because Trudeau was so far left.
Slightly,
yeah,
he is far left.
Poilievre could take that space. Politically, it was strategically probably not a bad decision. But then Carney came in, and he basically was where Poilievre was.
They were right beside each other.
Yeah, they had the same positions, and he didn't adjust whatsoever. And so like you said, I think most people east of Alberta just said, well, I'll just go with Carney then, the devil that you know.
Yep. Carney kneecapped him on the carbon tax, took that whole momentum away from him.
Yeah.
Didn't even change the slogan whatsoever. He put a red background instead of a blue, and then that's it. That was done.
And what a lot of people don't realize about the carbon taxes, he didn't really get rid of it. He just slid it to zero. It's still there. It's just at zero. He can, of course, at any time slide it back up.
Oh, he will. Wait till this election's over. Yeah.
One of the quotes he said from last year or two is, I'm paraphrasing, Nico, you can correct me if I get it wrong, was basically all of our decisions have to be made with climate central. Like our focus has to be like the thing we base all of our economic decisions on has to be through the lens of climate change, which that's nuts. That's crazy.
He has said that as the UN special envoy for climate change. He said that years and years ago in many interviews. He talks about this in his book Values, even adds the pandemic, because he says in his book that the most important thing to people is their health. I'm like, my eyes would tend to disagree with you. But all to say that he wants to put values in the middle of everything, and obviously he knows better than we do. So he wants climate change to be at the center of all economic decisions. And that he's not scared to say it. That's not even that's not even a conspiracy. He said it on camera, and it's in his book.
Yeah, look really close, and the title actually is "My Values" by Mark Carney. That's what that's the title of that book. My Values, whatever they are,
written in
invisible. It's like it's just like the O.J. Simpson's book. If I did it, no,
bro, come on. Here's how I would. That's crazy.
If I was going to do it,
I mean, here's how I would do it if I did. I would, but I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I did.
But if I did, this is I would do it exactly the way I did it.
Yeah, if I did it,
if I did it, yes.
If I killed that bitch, but I didn't. I can't.
So the result, by the way, guys, it's 10:34 Eastern, 8:34 Mountain, because it's important since it's Alberta. I've been corrected earlier. So here we are. It's 8:34 Mountain time. God forbid we trigger Jason here.
Yeah. Remember, we're highly armed out here.
Yes.
Here too, but it's mostly criminals. I'm just looking, so I'm gonna start refreshing the Elections Canada website because there's nothing as of now, but I have my eye on what is going on that beautiful website.
I want to take this comment from Pietro Campanelli. Pierre Poilievre didn't sign the security clearance. He definitely has a secret agenda, which does not align with the party. Can't trust him. I want to ask you two guys, like, do you think there's anything to that? Because I hear the security clearance thing a lot, but I don't know if it's a nothing burger or if there's actually any there. What do you think?
Well, the requirement was if he signs it, he can't talk about anything. Okay, so it's basically an NDA as well, non-disclosure agreement. He would be shown the information from the RCMP about foreign interference. But when Singh comes out and says, listen, like, why are you hiding? You start to question, like, why is he hiding? Maybe when he becomes a leader again, maybe, who knows? But that whole conversation dropped after Trudeau. Like, they stopped that whole committee. Nobody seems to be talking about that anymore. They're talking about
That's kind of
Trump
what makes
now.
me make it seem like it's not really. It was always maybe just a political attack. And again, I don't think
it's real though. It's very real. Both parties.
It's a real thing, eh?
Oh, for sure. Okay, and it's not just Russia. Like they kept saying Russia, but it's China heavily is involved in that one.
So are all the leaders expected or supposed to take the security clearance, and Poilievre specifically does not take it, or like is he doing anything that the other leaders are not, or what any other conservative leader would be expected to do?
Well, I think they'd be expected to go see the information and then act on it.
Okay, yeah. So he's just saying, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the information.
Well, I think his excuse, last I heard, was he wants to be able to tell the people what it says, and there's a non-disclosure requirement. He can't.
Yeah, sounds
so. Even though he sees it, but he can still take action. He can still persuade his party. They can bring forward some legislation. They can still do something about it. But I don't know. I think that's a tough one. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Wow. Did you apologize for Pierre Poilievre?
No, it'd be tough in that position too. Because the one thing I do like is he's like, well, I want to tell you what it says, but they won't show him. So maybe he has something else going on, or maybe he is part of it. But the last I heard, Rob, is like 40-something MPs of the last house was involved in some way, shape, or form. So I'd like to see the RCMP just release it. Like, why are they even talking to the House about this? Like, why would...
If it's that important, release.
Well, would you sit down with the mafia and say, "Hey, listen, should we disclose your information to the public?" Like, no, you would just do it. I don't even know why the House has the ability to kind of stop the RCMP from releasing it. That's interference. My books. Weird.
It should be 100% independent, because if the RCMP is not, look at what happened with the FBI in the US. Clearly, it has an agenda, and you had to get rid of the director in order to start seeing what's going on behind the scene. And even then,
good luck.
It's not very clear, right? Even then, now the FBI is just taking orders from Trump, so they're just hiding different shit. Epstein.
Yeah.
That one blows my mind. That one hurt my trust in Trump for sure. I still on the side of it. That can't be real. Like, guys, come on.
I definitely think I mean, there's a lot of pictures with him with Epstein. I don't know that he's actually out there, banging, underage girls or anything, but I definitely think there's some connections there that he doesn't want his name to get out.
Well, it could be as simple as it would take down both sides, Democrats and Republicans. I think they're all dirty in some way.
Oh, yeah.
Not all of them, but I think there's a lot of them involved.
There's a lot of powerful people who are on both sides of the aisle that do not want those.
And by the way, I'm not suicidal, so if anything happens to me, just understand. I'm a very happy man.
I did not commit suicide.
The governor of Texas, if you ever want to hear the story about this, go check. There was an interview with Greg Hot Wheels Habit, and he talks about this. He talks about how people get, if you see bills that are trying to be passed in the U.S. and both the Democrat and the Republican are signing the same bill, they're like, yep, they were bought off. And he explains it. He made an interview that was brilliant. But Hot Wheel, I'm a fan. I like Hot Wheels.
That's a great nickname.
You get the reference, right, Jason? Hot Wheels?
I don't actually.
Greg Abbott. He's in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair, and there's a Democrat MP that started calling him Hot Wheels.
Oh,
and people are outraged. Yes, that's it.
Started calling him Hot Wheels, and people are outraged.
The Republicans are outraged. I'm like, dude.
Isn't that the guy that Biden told to stand up to take an applause? I think he did. He said, "Why'd you stand up as we applaud you?" He's like, "Oh, wait."
He did do that. I don't know if that was Greg Abbott, but I remember he did that to someone in a wheelchair. He told him, "I want to stand up." Jesus.
And by the way, my son embarrassed us the other day because we were in an elevator at a hotel, and a gentleman rolled in, no legs, amputee, double amputee, knees down. And my young boy, who's 8, Down syndrome, he was just very observant and honest. He looks at me and goes, "Daddy, no legs." Like, yes. Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
sorry, brother.
But
apologies.
Kids, right?
Yeah, but man,
he's honest.
But I met your kid. There's not an ounce of bad in that kid.
Mm-mm.
Like, Like,
well, he learns a lesson quickly. Telling the truth can also be uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah.
but your kid's great. Like your kid has a great. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Fucking hope so. Yeah, I kind of like the dude.
He's like,
he's
yeah,
a great little guy. Both of them are great little guys.
Yeah,
they both have personality
right?
and strength, and at this age, that's what we want.
Nice.
You want to take this one?
Yeah. DNL says, Rob the Liberal, where do you stand on Carney? I don't hate him
on his neck
as much as Nico and Jason do. I don't. I was willing to give him a chance. I think he's made a lot of mistakes. A lot. I can't really think of anything that he did. No, I mean, I guess sliding the carbon tax to zero was better than nothing. But I don't really. There's nothing good that he's done that I've seen. What's your take? What do you think about him?
Have you read his book?
He's better than Trudeau. No, I haven't read his book. And when I'm answering this question, I'm not really sort of answering like what I think of his, like who he is on the inside or what his overall motivations are. I'm just assessing based on what I've seen him actually do. I've heard Nico, who has read his book, talk about excerpts and stuff from values. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, he's obviously like a globalist. Is there any leader of the Western country, of Western society right now that isn't? I mean, maybe Donald Trump, but honestly,
he does some globalist things from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. Like he definitely is the least of all of them, but I don't know that you're gonna get any that isn't in this day and age, that any leader that
they're all part of a club that we're not in.
Yeah, the leaders of all the parties among the West are all globalists of some sort. There's some pretty hard right. They're not even that hard right, but they're mostly anti-immigration parties over in Europe that are starting to spring up, like AfD in Germany, the Marine Le Pen. I forget what their party's called out in
Marine
France.
Le Pen,
yeah, those will probably be the only political parties in the Western world that aren't explicitly globalists. So yeah, I mean, clearly as a globalist, they're all going to be at this point.
Yeah, well, he's a little bit more than globalist, so he's a European, and
I don't like that.
Like if it was just a globalist in Canada helping Canada with his globalist ties, I can kind of get on board with you a little bit. But he's not here for Canada at all. He's trying to make us a European nation.
Well, I'm getting there. Just by observing the things that he's doing. At some point, you guys are right.
So remember last Friday when you were on the show and we talked about this, we kind of both ripped into Rob a bit. I made a reel about it. It's
Nico
doing super well on Instagram.
All the comments like,
talking, he's
Rob
like,
guy? Pull his head out of his ass, Rob. Jesus, guys.
But you, like, it was a great reel and people are ripping into Rob. Like,
I went over to take a look. I was like, yeah, okay, I won't come back here.
You did not comment on that one, did you? I did not one. I didn't see one Rob comment.
It was funny, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good at editing, so I can't believe that my prime minister would do that. That's the beginning of the
You ever see the gif of that baby who like runs into the room and then he turns around and runs out the other way immediately? That was me in the comment section. It's like, give me the fuck out of here.
But we've been following Carney for a while. Like he had a lot of fingers in Canada. He was Trudeau's advisor for quite some time. Bank of Canada governor.
Well, that's, I mean,
Bank of England governor, and even Liz Truss, Prime Minister of the UK, said, "Watch out, Canada. This guy is not."
They call him Carnage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that one of the big things on the campaign was he's like the fresh voice, and I think a lot of people don't understand that he was advising Trudeau behind the scenes for years, so he's not really a fresh voice. It's not a new set of eyes or the adult in the room or anything, which is how they were presenting him.
Well, when you're following Trudeau, then anybody is in fresh voice and the adult in the room. Like that was such a low bar that Trudeau left for him. He just like stepped over it, and there you go.
Yeah,
but he was the real guy behind the scene. He was the real guy behind the scene, though.
Yeah, we warned you.
That's
He
the
was
guy that
mature.
was behind Trudeau.
Yeah, he was more mature, he's more intelligent, and he's going to be the only
yeah.
person that'll make you wish Trudeau was back, because he's going to be a lot more effective when it comes to what they're trying to do. And now I hear that a lot more. People are like, wow, like this guy is worse than Trudeau. There you go.
Oh, yeah. One of the comments I wanted to take is this one right here from Becky McAfee saying, I'm tired of listening to the Conservative uncovered scandals, screaming about it in committee in the House, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
I feel the absolute same. I don't even know what to respond to this outside of this is exactly how I see it too. I'm tired of seeing the Conservative call out the Liberals and nothing happens. And as much as we like to blame the Liberals for the past 10 years of their atrocious policies that have completely decimated our economy, we can't say that Conservative did that much to save it either. Like, what did they do for the past 10 years outside of lose 4 elections? They couldn't get elected after a Trudeau getting destroyed, like destroying our economy like that. They still couldn't get it done. So that says a lot about the state of the Conservative Party in Canada. Just the movement as a whole is, damn.
Yeah, the conversation out here during the election was, well, they were just the opposition. They can't do much. I'm sorry. This was a minority government. You got to work with the other guys, make a coalition, do something. And I kept warning people here in Alberta, look, it's going to be another minority Liberal government. They're going to be the opposition again. So they've been saying, all this time we were just the opposition. What do you mean just the opposition? Like, do you know how much power you have as an MP, a single seat? Like, you gotta leverage this. You gotta work this and go work with the, like, I don't understand why NDP has such a great deal with Justin. They should have been exposing that. Like, under the criminal code, that deal that they had, because it's not a coalition, it was just a deal. It's a bribery. Like, under the criminal code, you can't protect your office seat as an MP, which is what Trudeau was doing, by making deals. So, like, there should have been a lot more push. There should have been a lot more push going on.
Well, it benefited the NDP too, right? I think they
correct. Both of them are criminal. On that
it was very cushy for Jagmeet there.
Yeah, I think 187 or something of the criminal code is bribery of an official. And that definitely, in my eyes, because I read the criminal code, it qualified.
You could definitely make a case, I think, a strong case. I just want to take this. Christopher Magnuson says the Liberal likes the elbows up his arse. Well, I mean, no, that sounds really painful. But also, I don't, I voted for Poilievre. I don't particularly like him, but I didn't vote for the Liberals. I just thought there's no way that you can reward that kind of economic incompetence among all the other things that they did wrong over the last 10 years. So I'm definitely not any elbows up type Liberal. I'm a common sense Liberal. There's a few of us still around.
Did you make the change?
Yeah, you called them. We've said this before. A common sense Liberal is called a conservative. We've been through this before, Rob. Come on.
Yes, well, you'll have to. You guys are dragging me, kicking and screaming over there.
Did you make that change because of your interactions with Nico and the show? Like, would you have normally voted for Carney had you not been part of Poli Orphans?
Actually, that's a great question. I think probably not, because I was having this sort of, I don't know, sort of change in existential crisis in my political leanings for a little while now. But I think it's certainly just having the conversation we have every day, with you guys, and it certainly made it more likely. If anything, I might not have voted one way or the other. That's probably what it would have done, because I think having we talked a lot more about the Conservative Party and Poilievre than I would have even ever looked at, and I didn't. Up until 2 or 3 years ago, I was probably. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to politics. And I probably would have just gone by whatever the media would have portrayed Poilievre as some far right, lunatic, which he's obviously not at all. As Nico says, he's basically a moderate liberal, or he ran.
I'm not even sure he's a moderate liberal. In the U.S., he'd definitely be a Democrat. That I will say.
For the DNL.
Hold on, before you continue, I just want to say to the people that are listening, thank you for being with us. The results are supposed to start coming in around 8:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Eastern. I'm monitoring the Election Canada's website. There's nothing in yet, but as soon as they start coming in, we will be showing them. That being said, if you're on Next, make sure to like, make sure to restream. If you do want to join the conversation, like you can see the chat is right there next to me. Join the YouTube channel at the Poli Orphans, the Political Orphans. Once you're there, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. So if you are on the YouTube right now, make sure to like the stream. Even if you don't like it, you know what? If you don't like what we're doing, dislike it. That's okay too. I like to see dislikes. Personally, I like to see dislikes. I like to have that conversation. I like to have that civil discourse. And you know, I wanted to take, talking about civil discourse, I wanted to take a comment here from Cranky Oldman. Did you see, like, his attitude kind of changed? Like, now his comments are actually, I enjoy this comment. Like, this one's actually a good one, and I'd like Jason to answer it. So Cranky Oldman is saying, being a globalist is a necessary quality for a national leader. The planet isn't flat. On another note, the Liberal Prime Minister was Brian Mulroney. Look at policies, no emotion or bigotry. What do you think about the first sentence saying that being a globalist is a necessary quality for national
I feel like
leader?
Cranky would have to clarify, and I'll throw this to Jason here in 1 second. Do you mean you think that should be that way, or are you just making an observation that it seems to be that way? Like, do you agree with that, Cranky, yourself? Do you think that's correct? And then I'll just throw that to Jason.
Yeah, and my quick answer to that is when you say you're a globalist, that means you're a globalist first, nation second.
Yes.
So I would disagree with that. Being globally aware, being able to talk trade, being able to work in a globe economy, I would agree with him. You absolutely have to. We're not on an island here all by ourselves. So we'd absolutely need to work in a global world. But to be a globalist, you're actually making the decision to put the globe interest before your nation's interest, and that's where I'd say no nation should do that. And I think Trump is doing exactly that. He's pulling the U.S. back from being one of the globalist leader countries to being a country within the globe. So that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Before we take some of the comments, if you want to remove that comment, I'm just going to show this. There are some new results that just came in. So
those are the early for sure.
Yeah, Pierre Poilievre has got 437 votes, 90% of the votes. Bonnie Critchley has 22. Liberal Darcy Spady, 11. And, wow, an NDP has 9. Grant, do you know Grant Abraham? Because I don't know that guy. Abraham, sorry. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. We've talked. We've had lots of encounters. We meet at events all the time. He tried to have me join his party. After the election was dropped, by the way. Grant, he's a very passionate Canadian that really wants to see a new Canada. So all the power to him on that one. Who is this? United Party of Canada leader.
Oh, okay. This guy here.
Yeah. And what's that NDP's last name? Catherine Swampy? What's in a name?
Yeah, that is not a great name.
Swampy.
It's an unfortunate name.
I don't know, but I'm sorry. Poilievre, not a great name. Critchley, not a great name.
At least Jonathan's building bridges, so we'll give Jonathan some credit. He's trying to build bridges.
Abraham's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
McDonald,
the rest are all...
There you go.
Okay. Jeez, that's rough to be Catherine Swampy. Wow.
You changed your name, like.
Oh my God, yes. Don't run for office if nothing else. Like, just never leave your house. Never use your last name.
But that would be an amazing result with 98 or 89, sorry, 89 if 89. It ends that way. And good job on Bonnie if he maintains too.
There's no way.
She's gonna get a bunch of votes. She's gonna finish in second place, right? I don't think that's surprising. She's definitely gonna be the Liberal. Oh yeah, of course. I think she's gonna finish second. It's gonna be a massive difference between Pierre Poilievre and Bonnie.
I think you're
like a massive difference, but she'll finish second. She's had enough coverage. My ex is being bombarded by people that support her. So not that it means that they're in Alberta in Battle River where they can actually vote, but there's a lot of people. Hey guys, if you're one of my followers, you need to reshare this, and it's all praising her like she's a great person. It's funny. I'm curious to know your take because Rob and I were talking about this today on the show where it's very interesting how normally veterans get destroyed. Like oh, this guy's a baby killer. But yet when it's her, when it's a big lesbian,
she's a vet, right?
She's a vet, and they're not a vet, like a war vet, or at least an army vet. Yeah, exactly. She's not helping animals here. But it's funny how they praise her for being a vet, when any other candidate, if they're a vet, they're literally baby killers. It's very interesting how they spin it.
Yeah, we saw that with Jeff Evely, because Jeff Evely is a strong candidate who's also a vet, and he ran in the election. And they come after him. When he actually got that fine, people went after him saying, you shouldn't be doing that. You're just trying to grift. You make us vets look embarrassed. Some crazy people came out and went after his vet status as well. But I think he did a great job. And I always support the vets, no matter who they are. I think that's the service that is nonpartisan. We should all accept, no matter what party they support. Our vets should come first and foremost. It's without them, we don't have what we have today.
100%.
See, again, I think, hey, hopefully, Cranky Old Man, you click on that subscribe button. But this is how we do stuff. We take hard comments, we take hot comments, and then by the end, he wants to hug us. Well, hug right back at you, brother.
Yeah, hopefully you come back. Guys, if you are watching tonight, this is
we got cookies.
Yeah, we do have cookies.
And Cranky, go subscribe to the Levine Show as well while you're at it.
Yeah, go to the Levine Show as well, guys. We guys, if you're just watching tonight, this is a sort of a special occasion. Normally we do our show from noon Eastern time to 2 p.m. Every day, Monday to Friday. And Jason, you do when do you do your show, the Levine
7 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Eastern. We have tea and coffee with Paula and Jay. So my wife and I, we do whatever's going on. Like today, we had Mitch Sylvester and Jeffrey Rath from APP. We do now. Yeah, we just started this up about a week ago. This gets us on to the topic of the day a little bit sooner, so we can bring guests and stay on top of that. Plus, we're releasing our series, the Alberta Self-Determination Series, 50 different interviews from all over Canada, including Danielle Smith, Stockwell Day, many people came on to this show. So we're releasing those out in pieces. And we also are covering some untold stories. So the untold story of Dr. David Speaker, we're working on Chris Shoemaker, Dan Hartman, even Dean Rainey, I believe his name is. He's the filmmaker that did the This Is Us documentary about vaccine injury over in Ontario. So we have a couple level of things. We have our daily show now, husband and wife talking about the news, what's going on, even homestead stuff if you're into that. And then we have this series of 50 voices of Alberta self-determination, and then untold stories. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
And maybe something new with Nico too. We're talking about an East and West thing. So I'm cool. Staying busy. That's why we got a studio.
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah. So what are you at? 87%. So
yeah,
guys dropping already. There we go.
1054 votes, 66 for
go Grant.
Bonnie.
Catherine Swampy's dropped the fifth. Oh, Swampy.
What's in the name?
But I think this is not surprising. 87, 88%.
I mean, that would be a surprising finish, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That would be basically the best.
To start, probably not too much, not too surprising.
Because that would be, as per the numbers I have here, right? We showed that earlier.
That's right.
So 82. In 2019, in that writing was 85.6, 71.4 in 2021, 82.8 this year with Damien Couric. And now they're estimating it at about 75%. What did I call up? I called up like 65% earlier.
Yes,
65.
Jason said 73.
73, you had 71.
I called 71.
You're that ass at the Price is Right.
$1. $1.
601, Bob.
Yeah, you're that jackass.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
What'd you go for? $1 less than that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's $2. It's Canadian dollars, so it's not worth as much as the Americans. So
that's right. There's a question here from DNL that I thought was pretty good. I'll give you guys a chance to answer. He says, so for a level set on what looks good, curious to know what those online and on a panel consider having been a good prime minister. So who would you think was a good prime minister?
See, the more time I spend in this and looking back at history, it's hard to say. Like, I don't think anything in my lifetime was a good prime minister.
Really, eh?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's kind of like when
what about Mulroney?
Horrible. Like he just gave everything to Quebec. Like when Mulroney was in power, I was out west. I was in Winnipeg. He stole the contract away from Winnipeg, sent it to Bombardier in Quebec. Like Mulroney, he essed the bed for sure. But since John F. Kennedy, there's an argument that hasn't been the same since. Everything before then was, somewhat elected and by the people. But since then, that's when governments and powerful people learned there's something bigger and more powerful. Here we are back to that globalist conversation. I don't think in my lifetime we've actually had a good prime minister. And you're basically weighing like who's the worst of the worst or the best of the worst is really the argument there.
And I was going to say exactly like you. You're reading my mind. Like since JFK, I don't feel that there's been that good of a prime minister / president. People could argue with Reagan. If you're a Republican in the US, they're big fans of Reagan. But outside of that, I don't remember in Canada. Like I used to think Harper was a good one, but when Harper was in power, I was just getting into politics.
Yeah.
Once you start looking at what he stands for, he is a globalist. Plain and simple. As much as people are ripping into the liberal policies for immigration, it's Harper that opened that door. All the immigration the problematics that we're seeing right now, all those policies were put in by Harper. It's just they didn't use it the way the liberals did, but they opened that door. So the more you look at what Harper did, the less of a good prime minister he was. But at the same time, you're bang on to say that he's just the best of the worst.
Yeah,
that doesn't say much, right?
Bumpy says Harper, but yeah, I agree though. I did like when the Canadian dollar was on par with the US dollar. I'm not sure how much the Canadian prime minister had to do with that. I think it was mostly the price of oil. It was just oil. Everything was every asset class was up in that moment, and we didn't understand why. Now we know it's because there was so much money sloshing around in the system from the subprime debt crisis. But yeah, every asset class was way up, including oil. And obviously, as a large oil producer, I think we probably, I don't know, did Alberta produce more oil back then around 2007, or have we?
Yeah, we've been held back always. Like our production could go up any day now. And now that I think about it more, Elliott Trudeau, 68 and on, that's when it hasn't been any good. You might have to look before then to find a decent or a good one. Somebody put Diefenbaker.
Someone said Diefenbaker. Yeah, I said, yeah. I mean, again,
you have to go before Pierre before you actually get anything that's decent. I think in the 20s and 30s we had a good one because that's when Canada became a real country, really, in my mind, because we went to World War II. We really showed our stripes there. We did quite well. We rebounded quite well as an economy, but not since the late 60s. So way before my time.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Man, thanks for asking that question because you're making me realize that we haven't had great prime ministers. We even had a prime minister with a saggy face that put our blue helmet backwards, and we still praised him as a good prime minister. So,
and this would include Joe Clark, who was our prime minister for a little bit, came out of Alberta. Kim Campbell, who had a little bit of a prime ministership there. That includes them too. I don't think that they did much.
Cornelius, he says Mulroney helped begin the climate change agenda through Earth Summit Agenda 21.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he also helped set up the Global Fund, put Canada into that. Chrétien kept it going, and etc. After that, they're all part of that as well. The Global Fund, if people aren't paying attention, that's the WEF income. That's where they get most of their money from, the Global Fund.
I like this question because this is a question I ask myself basically every single day, and I've been asking myself that for 4 years. Fubar today, I'm going AWOL, is saying, so Rob, Nico, and Jason, if things got so bad in Canada, would you leave and where would you go? Personally, I spend half of my time.
I'll answer that one last. I'll let you two go on.
I spend half of my time in the US already. My wife and I were looking for a place to stay in the US to see if there was a state that we liked. So we've traveled the US in an RV for almost 3 years, did 30 states. She does have an Italian citizenship, so we might end up there. And we're looking at that right now because I don't see this country going better anytime soon. It's going to get worse, a lot worse before it gets better. And one thing's for sure, I'll never buy a house in Canada again. Never, because that's something that's going to be taken away from you if guys like Carney keeps getting elected. So, you know what, man? I've asked myself that question very often, basically every day for the past few years. And the only place that I can think that you can go right now where you're not going to be bothered by all this crap is somewhere in South America. Because nobody cares about South America. Like globally, nobody really cares about South America. But as somebody that's done a lot of backpack in South America, you're playing with fire because there are government changes over there, and if you have the wrong government in place, it decimates the country. So you got to be very, very careful. But I think somewhere in South America, I got a buddy of mine in Mexico, and he loves it.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a brother that went to Mexico too.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, for me, I wouldn't leave. I got a son here. I got my family. I'm not.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna ride it out. But Jason,
elbows up.
The quick answer from
you might get to leave without leaving your house.
That's what I'm going to say. We will just leave collectively as Alberta in the country,
the province of Alberta.
So I definitely want to leave Canada, but I'm not going to move. So I'm going to get both the best. I think Alberta is. Worlds. Yeah, I think we're on the fast track to doing exactly that. I think after this election, Pierre is going to come out against Alberta independence, which is going to add a lot more gasoline to the fire, because that's going to tell a lot of Albertans conservatives aren't going to help you either. There's still a lot of them on the fence thinking Pierre Poilievre, if he ever wins, is going to help Alberta. But after this election, you're going to hear that rhetoric come out a lot more. That's going to push a lot of people away from the Conservative Party, away from federal elections, and you're going to see a big push in Alberta, probably just enough to tip the scale and get that referendum voted for. So I'd like to see Alberta, the nation of Alberta, and that's where I plan to stay.
That's an interesting one, because I would move there. If we were ever to stay in Canada, the only place I can see myself stay is in Alberta. And my wife passed the comment the other day. I'm like, I understand why I married you. Because she's like, hey, if we ever stay in Canada, we're going to have to move to Alberta. I'm like, oh, yes, indeed. So I agree with you on that one.
Belize.
She gave you a son and a future. What a wonderful woman.
Yeah. Belize is great. I've been to Belize. I love diving. I'm a big fan of diving, man. The diving in Belize is insane. If you like diving, beautiful stuff there. Yeah, man.
I could be.
But it's poor, right? It's very poor. Remember, like a lot of South America don't live with the same standard that we do here.
No, that's
like right. You can't even go to Costa Rica, which has become, like, I spent some time there too, and it's not what is portrayed in brochures. It's still pretty damn poor when you end up over there, but the lifestyle is very different. I don't think people understand how different South America is when it comes to the rhythm of life. Don't expect things to get done the way we do it in North America.
Pretty chill, eh?
Yeah, you better be patient, very, very patient. The rhythm of life is very, very different down
there. Bumpy Johnson says Canada's a dead country. 41,000 job loss in July. I actually didn't realize they were that bad so fast.
It was.
We talked about it last week, man.
Oh, shit,
who's getting punched in the face, me or you?
Yeah. No, but yeah, that's bad. It's gonna get worse every month for at least a couple months. I think it's not looking good. The tariffs are gonna hit us pretty hard. So how's Poilievre?
Well, Poilievre 85.9% with 2,800 votes, but Critchley is actually at 217, more than the Liberal, almost twice as much as Darcy Spady. And Catherine Swampy is still low at 59 votes. So
yeah, Barney's going to win the independent vote for sure.
Oh, that's what I said. She's going to finish, but I think she's going to beat the Liberals. She's definitely going to beat Swampy, and she'll finish second. That's good media coverage.
Yeah, that's interesting though. That she would beat the Liberal. Are they portraying her as
that just tells you a lot?
Are they portraying her as a conservative? I think I saw someone in the comments say that.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Like
she's definitely left leaning. like
quite left. She had some things like that she aligned with on the right, but I don't know if I think she says as independent. She identifies as independent.
Like if you just look, it's not surprising that she would beat the Liberals, because just look at the results. Like in 2019, they got 4.1% of the votes, 4.3 in 2021, 11.7 in 2025, and they're expected to be somewhere around 10% this by-election. So it's not surprising that she would beat them as an independent, because even independent right now are getting, like, they're literally getting the same. They're projected to be at about 10%
that's funny,
too. So
where they have 0% in the last 3 elections.
Now that might be a good thing if she kind of breaks the ice here in Alberta about putting an independent forward. That might be a good thing. We may see in the next federal election people do better as an independent. I originally ran as an independent before joining the PPC, but Alberta wasn't a place for that just yet. So maybe she'll break that glass ceiling on that particular issue, and maybe Alberta would put some more independent in there.
do you know what? Let me ask you this: as somebody that ran for the PPC, do you think it was a disadvantage to run for the PPC in numbers in Alberta? Did it play against you? Do you think you would have done better as a independent? Like if you look at what Chrisley is doing right now, do you think that's just the anomaly of her being pushed by mainstream media, or it's how Alberta's going right now?
Well, one of the advantages that she had was the debate, or whatever you want to call it, where Pierre was there.
Sure.
A lot of attention was there, so people got to see her and hear from her. So that worked in her benefit for sure. I didn't have that opportunity out here in Parkland. The Conservative person didn't show up to any of the events, so there was no way to compare and contrast against the candidate here. It's a great question, because I know I lost a lot of support personally. People really close to me, I lost their support because I moved to the PPC. They considered it splitting the vote and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people asked me, like, why didn't you stay independent, even though you can take the L? Why didn't you? And it's a good question. Hindsight's 2020. But I did like the platform of the PPC. I did align with what they were trying to do. I had some good conversations with Maxime. I do respect him. A lot of people say, PPC comes with its own baggage. All parties do. But I personally, I enjoyed what I learned about Maxime over the interviews I had with him, and then the private conversations and the platform. And I really did feel that I could add to a party instead of just what I was doing out in Parkland. Ask me again in the next election where I'm going to go, because I'm not sure. But if in this by-election an independent finishes second, that might open the door for a lot more independent candidates out here in Alberta. So just leave it at that for now.
Somebody was asking, I just saw the comment at the bottom pop for the results. So 85.3% is for Pierre Poilievre at 3,000 votes, 250 for Chrisley. That's about 7% of the votes. 127 or 3.5%. Yeah, you're looking at about 85. I was looking at the numbers. It's indicated at the bottom. 80. There's a population of 110,000 people, 85,736 possible votes. But earlier they were saying that people will probably, in a by-election, about 50% of the people that showed up for the federal election will show up to a by-election. I don't know if that's accurate. That was just an estimate that I saw earlier.
I feel like this by-election might be different just because it's Poilievre.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm going to go out on a limb, guys. I'm going to project a Poilievre win tonight. I'm calling it. I'm projecting a Poilievre win tonight.
Yeah.
Put the banner up.
Put the banner,
Yeah.
Going out on a limb. Don't hold me to the switches, but
Pierre's gonna win. What do they say when the banner goes? It's like we've got I don't know what word they use, but we've got a decision in, and it's Poilievre. And
we checked our desk; the numbers are in. We crunched the data.
Our desk is telling us
Poilievre's going to take data.
It. Oh, what's that? Yeah, Poilievre win. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is very surprising coming out of left field. Poilievre wins.
Yeah, we don't know how Alberta's going to respond tomorrow, but I am waiting for Poilievre to have his, come out of his shell and start talking about nationalism and keeping the country together.
You think he's going to start kind of?
Yeah, he will. He kind of has to.
Alberta sovereignty. He kind of, he does kind of have to.
He stayed away from that because of where he's running,
Yeah.
If he was out in Ontario, he would have been all over it. But now you're going to see the true Poilievre. The Poilievre is he's going to come out and push against that.
It'd be interesting, to see how
I wouldn't be surprised if he signs that petition from Forever Canada, like makes a big press announcement about it. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
What was that? What was that petition about?
It's from Forever Canada. It's a group here that are trying to get a petition together to have a referendum. They need almost 300,000 votes. They're trying to have a referendum question that's not binding, so it doesn't change anything, to ask Albertans if you want to stay in Canada forever. It's quite literally where they're going with this. It's the opposite of what the APP are doing, but the APP has a constitutional question, which means it is binding. So if it comes back as a yes for secession, then the government has to take action, and it goes all the way to Ottawa. But this particular one, it doesn't. It's a policy question. So it really is just, for S and giggles. Like there's nothing really going to happen here. But it came up during Danielle Smith's Alberta Next panels. A guy two people actually from the audience got to the microphone, asked her to sign the petition. She didn't. It's turned into a political joke out here.
Interesting. Crew of Astro says, I honestly think Alberta and Canada are stronger together, but at the same time, of course, there has to be more equal leveling. That's more or less where I stand. I obviously, as an Easterner, I don't want Alberta to leave because we're really fucked if they do. But yeah, I recognize that the grievances are legitimate, and frankly, I feel Alberta's been more than generous in even staying, I guess, quiet this long. Not that it's been super quiet. I'm sure there's been talk of separation for quite a while, but it seems like it hasn't reached a fever pitch like it has until recently, when I guess maybe just enough people said, you know what, they're never going to change, and just threw their hat in that ring. But yeah, I would like to see us stay together. It might be too late. It might not be. But one thing is for sure, even if it's not too late, it will be soon if our leaders don't recognize that Alberta has gotten a raw deal for the last however many decades and start actually fixing that.
Well, it might be rocky for for Canada if Alberta leaves at the beginning. It's like every divorce, there's a rocky period. But this could help improve the rest of Canada. Maybe Ottawa will start to understand you shouldn't be interfering with the resources and the economies of the different provinces. Maybe they should remove all trade barriers within the nation. Maybe they should listen closely to what the rest of Canada is saying when they're complaining, like Quebec or the Maritimes or even BC and Saskatchewan. This might be a wake-up call for all of Canada to kind of enforce themselves a little bit more, so that Ottawa changes their tone of being a top-down, hold you back, do it as we say type of federal system, into something closer to the U.S., where each region takes care of itself, and then the federal takes care of the whole nation on a global stage. Maybe this will rock the boat enough where the rest of Canada can then begin to prosper. And I guarantee you, when Alberta leaves, and I'm pretty sure we're heading in that direction, there's going to be great trade between Canada and Alberta. We still provide a lot of energy all over Canada. We have, a lot of corridors between BC and Saskatchewan that go through Alberta. So there's going to be a lot of ways to cooperate. I think just like a divorce, between a bad marriage, sometimes everybody's better off after. So this could be one of those situations. So I'm not so pessimistic that I think that Canada is going to completely collapse and burn and be done. No, Canadians are too strong for that. They will rebound. But what might happen is it might open the door to a lot more sovereignty recognition across the nation. And that would be a great thing. Quebec is talking about separating again. They just elected in a by-election Parti Québécois, which is definitely a separatist party. Saskatchewan, as we saw in your chat, there's movement there. Lots of parts of BC. So look, Alberta leaving may not be the worst thing that happens to the rest of Canada. You guys might have to grow up, develop your resources, and stop being limited by your government. That would be a good thing for everybody.
See, I think it's just an abusive relationship, and Alberta's like the beated wife. You guys have been smacked around for 10 years.
Well, the
enough, you
husband
guys leave.
has been abused because
Yeah.
we bring in a lot of the strength and the resources.
Obviously, Trudeau would have been the masculine in that relationship. Okay. But you know what I mean. I'm not calling you guys women or anything, but you guys have been in a abusive relationship, and
well, our
it's
women
time
are
to
beautiful
separate.
out here. So if you ever get the chance, we got some beautiful women out here. So I get it. But I think just like a divorce, sometimes, like, look, I'm a married man. I'm very religious. I don't think divorce is the only option. You should work it out first if you can. But sometimes it's too abusive. There is no future. Too many chances. History is not changing. It's just going to repeat itself. And since 68 and on, Canada, East Canada has been after Alberta. And remember the mantra. Screw the West, take the rest. This came out of the Liberals in the 1980 election, and it hasn't changed. Their attitude hasn't changed since then.
What I think would be really interesting is if, let's say, the referendum goes and it's decided that Alberta's going to leave. Like when we saw with Brexit, like it doesn't happen immediately. There will still be a period of negotiation between the parties as they figure out how to leave. But during that time, Alberta would still be technically officially in Canada, and anyone could go there like any other Canadian. It'd be interesting to see how many people move to Alberta, like if it will be a net gain or a net loss. I suspect it'll be a large net gain to try to get in before they have to get a passport to go in. So,
well, I think
French is going to Alberta.
It's going to go both ways. There's going to be a lot of liberals.
Go to Alberta, to be honest, if that was.
There's a lot of liberals that will leave Alberta too, because there's going to be no chance for a liberal government here. There's just no chance. So you'll see a lot of them leave as well. Hey, Brett made it right on.
Mr. Brett, what's going on?
How's it going?
How's it going?
We got to change his name to the Banker. So
title here, the liberal, the Albertan, the conservative.
Yeah, the Albertan. Yeah. I mean, the comments. Anti-woke liberal is my full title.
He just doesn't want to admit he's a conservative.
Comments.
It hurts his feelings too much.
He'll come out.
It's the whole premise of the show.
Oh no, he's come out the closet before. It's just politically. He's still closeted. Politically, he's still closeted.
In the closet, I'm finding Christmas presents.
I got to tell you, we've been really bold, and we made a prediction, and we're calling it. Pierre is going to win this by-election
already. You don't want to.
Yeah, our numbers guys, our numbers guys. They were on their game tonight.
So I guess there was enough people that could spell his name, or
the decision.
That's right.
Yeah,
but, they have to write the name in.
But Swampy did well. Catherine Swampy.
So 7% of the polls have been reported, and Poilievre is winning by 85.7% with 3,700 votes.
Critchley,
I told you, man, she's going to be second. She's still twice as much as the Liberals.
Yeah.
So
she's got 6. Swampy's still big in
Swampy's still fourth. Oh, she's going to stay there.
Seems to me a lot of independents didn't even have a vote there, so I don't know if they could.
They should have at least 100, right? Because you need 100 signatures to get on the ballot. So
can they vote for themselves? They can vote for themselves.
Yeah.
They're all going to have one vote.
Oh yeah, brother-in-laws and uncles and things like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think there needs to be some election reform though, because that was ridiculous. They shouldn't have had that many.
Yeah, but it's kind of ironic you say that, because the only reason that the longest ballot committee exists is to reform our voting system. Did you not know that's what they want?
Well, they may get it after this.
Something tells me they wouldn't care about reform if it was Mark Carney.
No,
if it's his writing, we don't need reform. I don't think.
No, clearly
they're trying to dress it up as if it's like a nonpartisan political protest, but it's not. It's clearly not.
No, I don't even know. What were the table stakes to even get on the ballot? Like $100. $100. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's
what were you saying, Jason? It was 100. I think it was 100.
100 signatures. You need to be endorsed by 100 people to get it. Try and get 150, because if some of them are no good. And Clown World just made a point here. Poilievre can't vote for himself as he doesn't live in that riding.
So interesting.
That is so true. That is so funny. And Critchley actually, she said it during the debate, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody that can vote here, raise their hands, and it's just Poilievre that's like, I can't.
I don't know if that's going to make it or break it for him. But so, Brett, we've been talking a little bit here that after this election is done, maybe Poilievre will come out of his shell and be a little bit more anti-independence for Alberta and start having those talking points. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it seems to me that these politicians shed their skin and try on a new one quite often, which like is really unfortunate. But probably one of my biggest criticisms of Poilievre is he waits to see which direction the wind's going to go before he makes a decision, which I don't know. In my mind, a leader should be a little bolder than that and be able to make a call before they get the polling in.
Everything he says, you can tell he's like triangulating this fire, and he's running it through the focus groups and who's going to offend the least amount of people. And that's obviously not a good way to, it's not being a leader, right? And I think a lot of people are I think one of the reasons, that Donald Trump is doing well, is because people, regardless of policy, whether they like him or hate him, I think people just appreciate having a politician who just says what he thinks and doesn't do the politics as normal thing. And I don't think we have, at least not among the leaders, that does that.
No, I completely agree. And I don't think anybody's going to agree with 100% of anything a politician says.
Sure.
Regardless where they are, even Donald Trump or Poilievre or Carney, wherever your stripes lie, but it's like make a commitment and stand by it, right? The constant chameleon politician seems to be.
And to a certain extent, they obviously have to listen to their constituents, but you can do that while also having your own principles and values. And it seems like a lot of the politicians don't seem to check those boxes. Crew of Astros says it's going to be interesting to see how Pierre blends Canada first with being based in an angry Alberta. Well, according to what Jason says, I don't think he's going to try to blend those. You think he's just going to go?
But that was clear. First? But that was clear during the debate. He said it during the debate. He's not going to spend time in Alberta. He's going to be in Ottawa. He hasn't lied about that. At least he's been honest about this, that he's not going to spend time there. He's not there to fight for Battle River. He's there to get his job back as the party leader. Plain and simple. He's not hiding this.
Yeah. And there's no capital, no political capital in it for him to go ahead and break up the country or lose a seat the second time around.
As the leader of the Conservative Party, yes, you're right.
Because he's still aligned with the East, so Quebec and Ontario, and this is not what they're looking for. They may want to leave Quebec, but they definitely want Alberta money to stay. So
I don't even think Quebec really wants to leave, to be honest.
We'll see. I was surprised by that by-election.
That's the difference between Alberta. They actually want to leave because they actually have things within Alberta that they will. Everything Quebec has comes from outside of Quebec. Right.
So when the alimony payments stop, they may have a reason to go ahead.
Well, how do you think he's going to change his tune, like sort of on a national level then, Jason? Because it's obviously it didn't work last time around and so 3 years from now, he's got to make some changes. Canada didn't want change, obviously. So what do you think?
I think he's going to sound a lot like Danielle Smith is right now, which is a pension plan, police force, taxes. Maybe he's starting to talk about that because Quebec has it. Again, at the Alberta Next panel, that whole thing should have just been, should we be more like Quebec? Because Quebec has everything we're talking about out here. And I think Pierre might align with that. He might say, hey, look, pipelines, income tax. He's going to put enough, he might try to put enough carrots on the table to quash the movement, because I think that's why he picked Alberta. I think that's why he's out here, is to quash the movement. There was a lot of talk before the election that if Carney wins, and Preston Manning said this and many others, if Carney wins, the movement will accelerate. So that I think he's here to put some water on it. So he might sound like Danielle Smith, talking about constitutional reform, immigration reform, those kind of things. The 6 issues that Danielle brought up. Right. That's what I'm expecting.
Right.
I don't see Poilievre changing at all. At all. He doesn't have it in him to be a leader. He just doesn't.
But if he doesn't, he's going to lose Alberta in the next election, which will hurt. Because he already
lost the last election. The Conservative Party has lost the past 4 elections because they don't stand for anything that is conservative anymore.
I mean,
they are liberal in sheep's clothing, and they're surprised that they lose. You know, there's a lot of those 90-10 issues that they won't even talk about. Like just mentioning, can you imagine if Poilievre would have the balls during the election to just say women cannot have penises? Just that. Well, no, but that's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer there, but he did not touch that one with a 10-foot pole yet.
Yeah.
After speaking with
conservative leader should not have been afraid to say that for sure.
And after speaking, like,
should not have been.
I had a long conversation with Billboard Chris that's made a name talking against this, talking against what's happening to our children. And he said that the number one swinger vote issue in the US, the reason Trump won is exactly because of that, because he had the balls to go against the trans agenda. Again, a missed opportunity by Pierre Poilievre to just copy a bit, as bad as that might sound to a lot of Canadians, copy the game plan that Trump used. Go on podcasts and talk about stuff that people want to hear about. And you know that the Liberals are not going to talk about this. They're going to avoid it, especially when you got a guy like Carney that his own daughter / son had a double mastectomy. Sorry. So, you know, there's easy issues that he could have approached. He never does. He never does. And it blows my mind. It just blows my mind. There are 90-10 issues that he's never going to lose any support from his own party or his own voters. Can you think of one single person that you know that would vote conservative that disagrees that women can have penises? Can you name one?
But I can, like a lot of people I spoke to when I was in my campaign trail, a lot of people said, look, I believe that we should be doing this way. We should be far more heading towards the right. All these issues that you're talking about, they do align with you. But they don't want the Liberals to have even more power. And I think the only thing that Poilievre would hate worse than not winning the government or not forming government is the collapse of the Conservative Party under his leadership. So I think he's really going to work hard to try and keep as much of Alberta on his side and the rest of Canada on his side. Because if we went independent or another party popped up before the next election, like what you're seeing with Bonnie here, if she finishes second, that means an independent finishes second. That might open the door to some more independent in Alberta. Pierre's going to do whatever he can to fight against that. He doesn't want to see the end of the Conservative Party again, because that's what happened when the Reform Party got picked up power.
And you see, you're just talking about those numbers. Pierre Poilievre, we're looking at about 10%. I just want to make sure here. 10.5%. So 10.5% of the results are in.
Yeah.
And you're looking,
as well.
Critchley is at 373, and she's leading the third, which is the Liberals, by twice. Twice.
Kind of surprised Jonathan Bridges is got only 16 votes. I would have thought just the PPC sort of alignment would have gotten. I don't know. I guess everyone's just wants to make sure Poilievre is winning, or maybe they just like him. I don't know.
Well, that Canmore debate, I think that's why you're seeing Grant do so well here. That Canmore debate, Grant came up really aggressive against Pierre in that debate, and he kind of stood out. So I think you're seeing the results of the Canmore debate here.
Okay.
Camrose,
Camrose, my bad. Yes.
The thing is, Jason, is I just want to go back to what you were saying earlier about Pierre Poilievre having to kind of keep Alberta happy while keeping the rest of Canada happy. I think that's going to be an impossible tightrope. My point is, this is exactly what I was going to say. How can he manage to do that when Albertans are so pissed off?
Yeah.
And not only that, but he will have a seat in Alberta. So he's supposed to be in Ottawa representing Battle River. Clearly he won't. That we already established. He said so. But how can you keep Canada happy, or the rest of Canada happy, and keep Alberta happy at the same time? I don't see it as a possibility.
A couple carrots might do it. Okay. The pipelines, possibly a police force, a couple carrots might do it. We're going to see, because Danielle Smith is doing that tightrope walk right now. There's a lot of people in her own party, 2/3, that want to leave.
Pierre Poilievre isn't half the politician Danielle Smith is.
No.
Yeah, well, maybe he can watch and take some notes.
While you watch, and Brett, where are you from? Where's your
Old Valley Credit Union in Alberta?
Oh, okay. So you're an Albertan as well. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a Albertan.
Okay. Yeah.
Born and raised. Yeah.
Nice.
And what are your thoughts about Poilievre? Is he going to walk the tightrope? Is he going to turn his back on Alberta and his riding? Where do you think he's going to go?
Well, yeah, that's see, I'm going to have to digest it a little bit, but first blush, that probably sounds about right. He'll try and do the roadmap that Smith is following. It's walk a very thin.
I think she's doing
razor's edge.
I think she's doing a pretty good job. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel differently from the sovereigntist perspective, and can I assume, Brett, that you are also aligned with Jason on that issue? The sovereigntists, like, do you think Alberta should leave?
Well, as a credit union CEO, I'm not allowed to have an opinion on that because we're agnostic. But you can pretty much tell what color our underwear are on that one. But but I was telling Jason a little earlier, might have been today, that I was actually quite surprised about the 6 questions that came up for this next panel, Alberta Next panel, and how surprisingly much closer it is to independent Alberta anyway. So it wouldn't be much of a stretch once those were in place to go, well, what do we need Ottawa for? We'll see where the wind takes it as well, because they might back away from a lot of these issues. So.
Yeah, exactly. And Brett makes up a good point. Like, if you want to take care of your own finances or pension, you bring it in-house. And she's talking about doing that. You want to take care of your own policing, you get rid of the RCMP and bring it in-house. She's taking the steps on whether we're sovereign within the United Canada, which is a line she uses a lot, or something different. She's taken all the steps to prepare us for that. Now, you mentioned that she's a good leader. I would agree. She is a good leader. But if she's
a good politician.
Politician is what I meant. I also do think she's a good leader, but I think she's really smart politician. I think she's, again, you guys, and I'll throw this back to you here in a second, Jason. You guys might see it differently. From the outside, at least, it looks like she's walking a very, very thin tightrope pretty well. She has very little room for error on either side. And so far, I don't think she's made a fatal mistake on either direction.
But to be a great leader, I think she already has the answers to these 6 questions she's asking. At least 5 of them, it's a clear majority wants to have a change, and she should just take the steps. She doesn't need to ask anymore. I think to be a great leader, you do what you know is right, and you don't necessarily keep asking whether or not it's right or not. One of them, the pension plan, I don't think Alberta is completely there yet. I think it's a 50-50 split on whether or not they want to have it here. They need some more education to understand why it's a benefit to them. And I'm sure Brett would probably back some change up on the financial side of things, like currency sovereignty and backing our dollar a little bit better and those kind of things. But when it comes to the pension plan, Albertans need to understand why we should do what Quebec has done and manage it ourselves. But the other 5 issues, the policing, immigration, taxation, equalization, and I can't remember the 5th or 6th one right now, but all of these are issues Alberta's already spoken to this and said, let's go ahead and do it on our own.
But I think the thing to keep in mind, though, is that her asking the question, to me, is so refreshing. So I totally agree with you that a leader should take the decision when they know it's right, just do it. But that's what we're always seeing. We're always seeing politicians make decisions that they think is right, that serves their agenda, without really asking the people what they want. And
well, we've already done this, though.
But as a third party, this is why I like what she's doing, is because at least she's asking. And to me, it's refreshing as a third party. I'm not in Alberta. I'm just talking to you as a guy from the East.
No, fair enough. But Jason Kenney did this already. He went to in town halls. He already asked all these questions. We already have that answer. The people have spoken. She's just doing it again. Now, I think the great value here for her is she's going to learn that there's just certain groups you just can't work with. Yeah. And that's a good lesson for her to learn so that she can then take the next step.
That's something Pierre Poilievre should learn. That's something that dude should learn, because he tries to please everybody when you can. There's people that will never vote for him. Stop trying to pander to them and just pander to your base.
Sylvia brings up an interesting question. I wanted to get you got. I'll let you finish there, Jason. But it's about the ivermectin thing. But you go ahead with what you're going to add there, and then we'll jump into that.
Well, we'll jump on this. She is not criminalizing ivermectin.
I wanted to get your guys' take on that.
I don't want to jump into too much because I'm friends with Makis. I like Makis, but just look at his posts, look at his legal documents. Danielle Smith is not criminalizing ivermectin.
Can you give us the context to this? Because we were
trying to avoid the question.
No, not really. So Makis is under a lot of not financial, but legal issues right now. They're not fair. Okay, so I'll put that out there right now.
And what was that? Macklin? Is that what you?
Makis.
No, Dr. Makis. Yeah.
Okay.
William Makis.
I'm not sure familiar. What's his role in this?
Sure.
I'm not into the sort of ivermectin discourse.
Sure. So he's a doctor out in, he was. They've taken his license away from him. He's being persecuted. Okay. I think they're going way overboard. I think that the reason why he's being targeted is because he's so open and honest. He was fighting hard for Albertans even before COVID, before Danielle. So it's not an issue that he had under Danielle Smith. And then he's been fighting very hard. Now, some of his challenges are the College of Physicians and Surgeons here in Alberta are going after him, and he's also going after them. He's exposing the pedophiles there. He's exposing the corruption there. He's exposing a lot of really good things. He was one of the first to come out and say doctors are suddenly dying. He was posting all their pictures. He exposed all of that. And he definitely was one of the first to expose turbo cancers and what was actually happening. I don't want to go too much because you're on YouTube still, but he exposed a lot of that. Makis is a hero of mine for what he's done on those fronts. Okay. What he's doing here with his ivermectin criminalization of it. And look, he's getting on Alex Jones and a whole bunch of places having this conversation. But just read his documents that he's posting. There is no criminalization of ivermectin in them. What's going on is he's facing criminal actions. And what he's for not paying fines, for using the doctor and MD because he's not allowed to. The push against him is he's not supposed to be using that. So he's facing not just fines because he's been paying hundreds of thousands in fines so far, but he's facing potential criminal action, and he could end up in jail for the path that he's on right now. And he's trying to help people. So he's trying, and there's a lot of people I know who go to him directly to get help. So this is why I want to be very careful with this, because I think Makis is doing some really good work here. But what his challenge is they're going after him and his ability to do that. Then he's making the connection to that, to the ability to prescribe things like ivermectin and use it. And he's kind of making the connection saying, well, they're criminalizing me, which means I can't help people with ivermectin. Therefore, he's kind of making this loose connection to criminalization of ivermectin by Danielle Smith. She's not. There is no legislation. There's no legislation that's coming out of her party. There's no policy coming out of the party. There's nothing before legislature here at all that's going to criminalize anything like that. That's just not happening. But he is being criminalized, which is stopping him from helping people with ivermectin and the other tools. So I love the man. He endorsed my campaign for PPC. He's a great guy. He's exposed so much. A lot of the work he's doing is noble and great. But this is not quite what's going on in Alberta. Nothing's being criminalized. Western Standard put this out there as well, did the same math that I did, read the same documents that I read. He's being persecuted. I think that's wrong. What they're doing against him is wrong. They're playing games against him. I know some of the lawyers involved. It's wrong. But she's not criminalizing ivermectin.
Appreciate the
yeah, that's it. I'm going to wake up to a lot of messages and maybe one from him tomorrow for that, because I've been not trying to go public with that. But
understood.
Just like my son with the no legs comment, I'm going to tell the truth, even if it's difficult.
No.
So
Brett wasn't there for that one.
No.
Let me take this comment, then I want to show the results, the live results. And there's a comment.
Is our prediction? Does our prediction come true? Did Pierre win?
Yeah, it's not there yet, but
yes,
we all know where this is going.
By Mary.
So Mary Sherry is saying, I love the Political Orphans lives. You have some of the most articulate and intelligent lives
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Only since Brett showed up, I think she says that.
Yes.
I just got adopted.
Increase the collective IQ of the panel.
So we are looking at
17%?
18%.
Okay.
No, well, let's call it 18% of the polls have been reported. Surprisingly, Poilievre is at 83.6%, but Critchley is at 566 or 7.5%. She keeps on going up and up and up, like in percentage wise. So she's beating the Liberal candidate by more than twice and almost 3.5 times the NDP.
Combined, she's beating them.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Combined. Yeah. Wow. Good math, huh? Good for you, Jason.
Good
Those glasses actually work.
And good showing for Grant on this one. That's a good showing. I think he's doing well.
Yeah, that's true. Huh?
Yeah,
that's true. He's almost as much as the NDP. So good for him. There's a comment for you, Brett. I think we should take it to put a bit of just to put a context here. But Carmela Wayne is asking, I heard that Bull Valley Credit Union refused to freeze bank accounts. Is that true, Brett?
Yeah, no, it's true. We never froze any bank accounts, and really the reason behind that is because I thought it was a breach of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Turned out to be right on that one. I have to tread lightly to some degree as well, because we have a regulatory body, FinTrack, that we have to abide by. But really what our stance was that we would, if we were instructed by, say, the government to close somebody's account, we would want to see a court order to be able to do that. They backed off from that very quickly. And, was it a result of trillions of dollars leaving the country? Was it a result of political pressure? I'm not sure, but it's a very big black mark on Canada, in my opinion. And, they continue to have
that they did that without court orders. All the ones who did freeze, that's wild, man.
Well, and they continue to freeze people's accounts, and they get around it by saying, you're outside of our risk profile is what they say. And, it's a very keen way of basically debanking somebody without having a good reason to do it.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Well, one of your newest customers is Eva Chipowicz, because she just had that happen with the Royal Bank just in the last month or so.
Well, for what reason was it? Like her social
media?
And
I can't speak to why she was frozen at RBC. I don't know the history around that.
Yes.
Yeah, she has been a member.
I did see that. Well, the PPC, Megan Murphy, I think her name was. She had that happen to her just before the election. She's from BC, I believe, and a PPC candidate. But yeah, so it does happen. It's funny how they'll never say it's political, but it does never seem to happen to Liberals.
Well, they do say it's political. It's just mainstream media don't cover it. That's the difference. Because if you go online, guys like us have been talking about this all the time. It's political. It's 100%.
No, but I'm saying they'll say it's not. Like the banks will say it's not political. Their decisions.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
sure.
Absolutely. And I'd actually, somebody even challenged her on X and basically said they only freeze your account for 2 reasons: tax evasion and fraud, or something like that.
No, there's many.
And it's like, no, that's not accurate. But I'd love to see something like that go to Discovery and have RBC open the books and see what the real reason that she got debanked was. Of course, it'll never get to there, but that certainly would be an interesting discovery.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to say, and if anybody's going to do it, it could be Eva, because she's got the ability to do that kind of thing. So we'll pay attention to that one. But I don't know the reasons either. She didn't disclose that. But the letter's very genuine. The letter said, take your stuff and go. So
she put that out there. It was not ambiguous.
We see those letters. It's a little less frequently these days, but we continue to see those letters for the past 3-4 years of no real rationale. Take your things and go is basically what it says. You have 30 days to figure things out.
And suppose Can you explain how that makes any sense? Because I've seen multiple of those letters. Like I've seen people have 30 days, exactly like you mentioned. You have 30 days to take your stuff away. And as someone that has moved my accounts when I lost my job over this whole whoop whoop thing, I moved a lot of my assets around. I wouldn't have been able to do it within 30 days, not because I didn't want to, because the bank was taking their sweet ass time to get back to me, to give me the forms that I needed. They all needed to inspect and have inspectors reconfirm that everything is good. So it wouldn't have been possible for me to move my assets within 30 days. So how can they legally do that knowing that it's not even possible? It's not like I do an Interact transfer to an email address that's connected to a new account and whoop, everything is ported. That's not how it works.
No, and especially something like a mortgage. If you had a mortgage with them, like good luck getting an approval within 30 days, and then all the legal transfer and the conveyance and you name it. Like 30 days is tight to be able to do something like that. And
that's a good point.
A lot of the time, people have their entire lives with them. Checking accounts, saving accounts, RSPs, RESPs, TFSAs, mortgages, lines of credits, credit cards. It would be a full-time job just to even get it moved over.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we saw the writing on the wall there, Rob. In 2017 is when my family and I dropped RBC. They were selling our information to American Express credit card and other places.
Really?
Because I gave them a brand new phone number that went to nobody else, just to kind of test this whole thing out. Yeah. And lo and behold, that phone number started getting solicitation. We dropped them. When we sold our property, we moved to a credit union out in Ontario, Desjardins. Nice. But then we learned the lesson that credit unions are not interprovincial. So we had to move to a different one when we moved to Alberta. And Bow Valley is where we currently are with our business, a couple business accounts.
Before you take this question, just let me show some results, because we still have some, that's why we're here.
666. Oh boy, somebody's gonna
I know. I saw that. Yes, I was about to point it out. So 21% of the polls have been reported. We're looking again 83.6% for Pierre Poilievre. Chris Lee is at 666 votes. Just saying. 713 never happened.
Yeah,
it just refreshed. It never happened, but she is still at 7.7%. That's impressive for an independent.
Mm-hmm.
Poilievre's been pretty steady at that 84% since the first numbers came in. That's
what they got in the last election. Yeah,
I would be
maybe
surprised.
Just all the but it looks like Grant is doing well, so he moved up above the NDP there. So now he's in fourth.
They were at 82.8%, Jason, when when was it, in March, April?
Mm-hmm.
April.
Yeah, so the low 80s. So maybe just everybody showed up again.
Yep.
And you're right. Grant Abraham is fourth. Sorry, 191, and he did pass the NDP.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. That gives you a lot of hope to run as an independent next time. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, Grant wanted me on his party, but I think independent or PPC. Those are my two options. We'll see where we are. I might be in a different office by then. By the way, I'll be running in the municipal election in October out here.
Oh, that's right. That's fine. Cindy Jacksit Servatius. She says, I have two questions. This would probably be for Brett and Jason. One, would Alberta have odious debt if we got our independence? And two, would Albertans lose their citizenship once we have independence?
No and no. Jump into that one further. I'll let Brett take the debt one, because we're owed on the CPP billions.
What's the math on that?
Somewhere between 140 billion and 400 billion, depends who you listen to. Danielle Smith says 140, but she's still waiting for the real number out of Ottawa. And calculations being done by the APP and other groups is closer to 400. So somewhere in there.
Are they going to factor in some share of Alberta's debt, or the federal debt? Or are they, well, I don't know, like the federal debt.
Alberta's been paying Canada for.
Well, no, I know that. I understand.
Well, that's my question.
The reality, but I'm asking. I just mean, they're going to try something like that.
Would you think they take the national debt, 10% of that, drop it onto a province? It's a national debt, not a provincial debt. So
I think I've heard like the people, I don't know, people who
this comes out of mainstream media who says this as a way to discourage Albertans. But it's like any other divorce. There's assets, there's liabilities. I think the net positive will be in Alberta's favor, no matter how you slice this thing up. But I'll leave that one to Brett. The second question there was, would you lose your citizenship? No. Canada doesn't recognize the loss of citizenship. So if you're born with a Canadian passport and citizenship, you actually maintain that. You'll have dual citizenship. Albertans born after would only have the Alberta one, but anybody born before, you'd have dual. Canada doesn't recognize, you can't denounce your citizenship.
No, it's true. You could want to bomb all the temples you want around Toronto. They won't even deport you if you weren't born in Canada. So,
so you'll have.
So don't worry about your citizenship.
Yeah, and specifically on the debt. So, yeah, they might try and plunk that 10% debt on it, but I think Jason's right. It's a federal debt and not Alberta. But Alberta does have, I don't know, don't quote me on these numbers, but say it's like $100 billion in provincial debt
that we would have.
But, you know, based on the numbers that I've seen with the Alberta Prosperity Project's document, we could probably take care of that debt within 2.5 years. No problem.
The value of freedom is their document. Check it out. By year 5, they think we won't even need provincial income tax anymore. We'll be all caught up. And like Brett said, it's the provincial debt. It's there whether we're in Canada or not. That doesn't change the conversation at all. It's the media that says you're going to get a piece of the federal debt. Even if that happened, I think we would be able to quickly recover from that.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add, Brett, before I take some results?
Oh yeah, that's probably a very big piece is the finances, because it's so compelling from an Alberta standpoint. But unfortunately, there's if the independence movement wanted to win this thing, it's going to be an emotional battle too that people need to be won over on, and it's just not a financial decision. Like, you look at the finances and it's a no-brainer. There's and I would challenge anybody that suggests that we should stay in Canada. It's give me 5 good reasons, and I haven't been able to find anybody that has 5 good reasons yet. So
I got some for you.
All right,
because the Maritimes need somebody to pay for them. Quebec needs somebody to pay for them. Ontario needs somebody. See, I can give you 5 right.
Who will pay Quebec's equalization payments?
Yeah, how are we going to survive without Alberta? Come on, man.
Would you guys? What do you guys? Would there be an Alberta currency, or would you just use the U.S. dollar?
I think there'll be a transition with the U.S. dollar to eventually an Alberta dollar.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to see.
Is that how it would be called? The Berta?
The Berta buck?
The bird of buck.
That's the way you'd want to do it. You'd want some stability in the U.S. dollar.
Well, especially selling oil, which is already priced in U.S. dollars, it would make sense.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go with the Berta, if that's what you want to call it, then you'd resource.
Is that what you guys would call it, or did Nico just
No,
we're not in charge of this.
I just made that up as we're going. The Berta.
I mean, it works.
The Berta elk.
To add credibility on sort of the world stage, you'd probably want to back up the currency with resources, gold, Bitcoin, something.
Yeah.
You'd also need some kind of transition period where you need a swap line with the U.S. and probably a line of credit with one of the bigger banks in the U.S. just to give some padding. You know, you get $500 billion worth of line of credit out of JP Morgan or something like that. And I think it would add a lot more credibility to, we can pay our bills here. Right. So,
yeah.
I like when Brett talks.
I'm putting it out there.
It makes me very confident that the financial part, Alberta will have it. We'll figure this out. We'll get it going. Will we be part of the euro dollar, the deal there?
Well,
the loony dollar system.
My complications with that, like that's I think we're trying to get away from is that's probably been very interesting. Is I saw a great tweet today about how Mark Carney was replaced by a houseplant in the White House or something like that. on the world stage. And so they have all the world leaders there, and then they have this plant in the middle, and it's like, there he is.
No, but Carney was there. He was just behind the people. He's not a tall guy, right? No.
Was he there? I didn't see him.
No. I saw a great meme where somebody copy pasted him at the bottom with his elbows up in the corner. But yeah, if we go back to the election, we are looking at
it's 80 now.
28%. Yeah, 28% of the polls have been reported.
Oh, Bonnie.
80.6. Man, Bonnie is at 9.5%. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's really impressive. Like 9.5%. She's more than the other three behind her.
You got to give the polls some credit here, because calling 10% for her, that's pretty bold, and she looks like she's going to get it.
Yeah. No, but hold on. I think we had miscommunication there. They're talking independent. I think they're talking independent. No, but independent as a whole, there's like 200 of them.
I don't think they group it that way, though.
Oh, no?
No, because that would be unfair, because it's not a party.
But even,
I think... Go ahead,
Jason.
No, I was going to say, of all the independents on there, she's the only one that stood out.
Only one has votes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too.
But if he ends up on 75 and then 10 for her, that's not bad polling.
Well, that's good. That's good for independent. That's good for an independent movement. So, good for her, I guess.
I kind of feel like that's mostly Bonnie herself. She was obviously pretty. I mean, the media gave her a ton of free, a ton of coverage, because
she was, I think, the only independent or one of the only independent on that one debate stage.
Yeah,
she's the only one that mainstream media spoke about, and I got to say, little diss for Pierre Poilievre there. She's done more podcasts than Pierre Poilievre over the past couple of months. Just putting it out there.
No, good on
but
her.
She was everywhere. She was everywhere, man. People were interviewing. I approached her. She didn't respond to me, but I approached her to be here. I would have loved to talk to her. Why not? I don't need to agree with you to have you on the show and speak about why you do what you do, right?
Well, maybe she will after, because if she opens the door for independence in Alberta, I think that's going to be a good thing. Now, Brett, I did want to ask you about your question at the next panel about currency sovereignty. It was kind of what we were talking about a moment or two ago. What did you mean by you think that would be a big step for Alberta within a united Canada to talk about having currency sovereignty?
Well, I was trying to frame up the question like they wanted to, and the question was more geared around Alberta sovereignty within Canada, just because that's what they were catering to. But really, my real shtick in the last 4 years is I've just been extremely frustrated with how much currency printing has happened, and in my mind, that is why we've seen so much social distortion. We've seen drug abuse. We've seen homelessness. We've seen kids with education that can't get a job. Like all this in my mind is related just because they keep on debasing the currency. When I say debasing the currency, it's like taking a cup of coffee, and that's how much currency is in the world. And you just continue to water it down and continue to water it down. And so eventually get to a place where you can barely taste the coffee that's in the cup. And that's effectively what we've done with the currency. So every dollar that they print, every dollar after that basically dilutes every dollar before it. So anybody with savings in their account got diluted by 40-50% in the last 4 or 5 years of their savings, which is very significant. And of course, a lot of people aren't complaining about it if you have assets. So if you have stocks and bonds and houses and, land or something like that, life's great. But if especially for the younger generation, when you don't have all those assets, it stings, because now your wages aren't going up and you can't afford a house and you can barely put food on the table and you can't pay utility bills. And so really what the point of what I was trying to say at the Alberta Next panel is, how does Alberta get ahead of this and basically force monetary discipline on the federal government? Because currency is the purview of the federal government. So it's not like Daniel Smith can walk in and say, quit printing all that money. But number one, they can have fiscal responsibility, which means balance the budget. So we haven't done that in Alberta. So we really should be doing that. But also forcing monetary discipline on the federal government and the Central Bank of Canada, basically suggesting quit printing all this money. Otherwise, there's going to be a formula within the equalization payment that's going to penalize you. And so it's trying to basically keep Alberta ahead of inflation is really what the intention was. But, you know, conveying all that in 45 seconds is a little difficult. So, but long and the short of it is, I think we'll continue in the Western world to print currency, and we'll continue to see inflation, and it's going to be a real big problem. It's going to get worse before it gets better, in my opinion. So
I assume you think that's the main driver of the inflation we've been facing for the past couple of years?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So during COVID, what they did is they what's called monetize the debt. So they bought a bunch of their own bonds, and then they sent out checks to everybody. And so when you send people home and don't let them work and then give them a bunch of money, so you're not producing anything, you're not producing any services or goods, and you give people a bunch of money, of course you're going to see inflation. Like it's just no brainer. And so a lot of that escaped into the housing market, and I'm not sure exactly what regions you guys are in, but across Canada, skyrocketing housing prices, which just make it completely affordable for anybody, right? So
yeah.
So printing and spending is not fiscal responsibility. So printing and spending is not fiscal responsibility, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, like, so the fiscal responsibility is just balance your budget. So think of it just as you're responsible for, okay, you're bringing this much money in within Alberta, you can only spend that much and don't go into debt. That's fiscal responsibility, where monetary responsibility is just happens at the central bank level, and don't print a bunch of extra currency to basically, you know, goose the system. So
I was under the impression that budgets balance themselves. Did I hear that wrong? Shit. Oops.
Well, and you continue to see it. So Mark Carney's budget, if he ever puts one forward, was supposedly $250 billion bigger, more deficits. So it's like that's all money printing, right? So that's inflationary. And it doesn't seem like anybody's willing to balance the budgets, even though they balance themselves.
Yeah.
But how can you say that? He is an economic genius. He's a guru. How can you talk against Mark Carney like that?
Yeah.
Shame on you, Brett. Shame
on
you.
He was the head of two central banks at pretty much like during the epicenter of all this money printing. Remember, after 2007, it was kind of weird because we could see that the Fed and central banks all over the West were, you know, what they call it, qualitative easing. They were, which is essentially just a fancy word for printing money, and yet inflation wasn't going anywhere. And I think these people thought, oh, it's a new normal. Inflation won't it's not going to happen. And I think a lot of people were saying, no, it's coming, and then it's here. And it really, I don't think it's come even close to what it's gonna hit, just because of how much, you know, quantitative easing was built into the system for. I think it went on for like 10 years before we even started to see inflation.
Yeah, and it's a term called fiscal dominance that we're in right now, and effectively that means that we've printed so much debt that we cannot possibly bring in enough tax revenue without printing it to pay the interest on that debt. So
that's when the cycle that you get in.
Yeah, once you get into that trap of over 120% debt to GDP, it's pretty much the beginning of the end. And there's only one. Well, there's three different solutions to get out of it. You can go bankrupt, which you know, if you can print your own currency, that's not going to happen. Number two, you can become extremely productive, and that was sort of the Poilievre angle. Is like, we're going to really start making this country productive, but I don't have high hopes that it's going to be fast enough or we're going to get through red tape. Or third, you can inflate your way out of the debt, and ultimately governments always choose to inflate their way out. And so hence why I continue to believe that we're not going to see the end of this inflation anytime soon.
Going back, man, this is very interesting. Thanks for joining, bro. This is you making us sound extremely intelligent. I really appreciate that.
Great.
Really intelligent. Yeah, thanks. You're inflating the conversation. Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot. Yeah,
these big words, monetary responsibility, and
even Rob sounded intelligent for a second.
I was about to say, look at the big brain on Rob.
God, he's reading his notes like he's in his hand.
Quantitative easing.
So going back to the election, we're 80% Pierre Poilievre with almost over 11,000 votes. Man, Frischley almost at 10% with 1,300 votes. Like, she is literally outbeating the three behind her. So she's beating the Liberal, the NDP, and the United Party of Canada combined.
I think what happened is everyone perceived the race as Pierre Poilievre versus one other person, and
yes, she's that person.
The consensus pick was it's going to be Critchley because of how much media she got, and if she didn't, it would have been the Swampy or whatever the third one.
But I would have loved to see a fight between the two. I think she would have won. Just saying. Like a physical fight.
Oh, a physical fight?
Yeah, a physical fight. I think she won that fight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, gents, I got to hop off here, but thanks for having me. And
the IQ of the show's dropping.
We're gonna drop. Actually, on that note, it's 10 after 1 on my time. I got to get some.
And
sleep.
I'm getting there too, Nico. I got a morning show.
Yeah, I know Nico wants to go all night.
I get up before all you motherfuckers. So I have a 5-week-old son. I ain't sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. That's
talking about.
But I am gonna need some sleep. Brett, appreciate you for dropping in.
Well, thanks for having me, all gents. Maybe I'll get a title next time. So there you go.
Well,
the banker. No questions about it.
Yeah, that works.
Thanks again, Brett.
Thanks, Brett. See you again, Brett. Bye.
He just turned off his camera. He's a smart guy.
CSIS did. They kept him connected.
Yeah, exactly. Just long enough. So what do you guys want to do? Because we're at, let's be honest here, Pierre Poilievre is winning. I don't think we're gonna wake up to a surprise here.
No. Do you want to end it now? I probably got to sign off, but if you guys want to just sign off now, we can all just.
Are you guys interested in jumping on the morning show? It'll be 9 your time. 9:30.
Yeah. For how long?
9:30.
Yeah. Half an hour, 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So what in Eastern time?
9:30 will be your time.
Okay, yeah. So that's 10:30 my time. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'm down.
Because we can recap again tonight. Final numbers.
Yeah, and whatever we miss. Because he might go down to low 70s by the end of it.
He's been pretty constant at 80. No, but he's been pretty constant at 80 though. Because even now it just refreshed and he's still at. Hold on, there you go. He's still at 80.5%.
What's the?
They're 35.
Oh, it's getting there.
And I was looking at what they normally do, and if they hit about 50%, if somebody has 50% of the votes, they're gonna call it. So I wouldn't be surprised if within the next hour they're gonna call it for Pierre Poilievre. Like at this point,
we called it first.
Yeah, we did.
But I think that Elections Canada is gonna officially call it once. If he's at 80%, so that means if he keeps you need about 65%, give or take, of the votes being counted, and they're gonna be. There's no way either way. No. The closest one is 10% of what he has, give or take.
I'm going to go on a limb as well again and say there's going to be no recount here.
Yeah, it's not going to be necessary.
Yeah. Can you imagine a recount? Liberal wins suddenly. It's like, what the heck?
Would that surprise me? No, it wouldn't surprise me because they probably lost votes in Yukon somewhere.
Yeah.
they found some votes, some winter
yeah,
votes.
yeah,
What was it? Do you
yeah.
remember that? They
Yeah,
found a
yeah.
bag in Yukon. They're like, oh, it was stuck. It was stuck in a storm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bag
circle
of votes in
story.
Yukon. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But I'll pass you guys a link later
Yes.
tonight or early tomorrow, and then
Yep.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Throw it to Nico, and then Nico.
Where are you
will
located, Rob? Don't dox yourself.
I'm in New Brunswick. I'm
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
it'll
I'm
be
on
early for you too.
Atlantic time.
He
But
just
yeah,
came
no,
back from not being in the woods.
Yeah, Halifax. Yeah, this is not the woods.
This is not the woods. So
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
cause it off, Rob, or we'll bring it? We'll call it.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna put a pin in there now. It's pretty late. Looks like Poli is probably gonna win. And just as we hit that, we hit 2,500 viewers here. So excellent turnout, guys. We appreciate you. You could have been anywhere in the world here today for the last couple hours. You chose to be here with us, and we will always appreciate that. If you are new to the show, you can obviously like the stream. That should be a no-brainer. It takes nothing at all. But if you really want to support the show, you can become a member for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can do that through YouTube, and that will help support the show, of course. You can help build a community and help support independent media. I'll throw it to Jason. You can plug your show, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah, everybody join us tomorrow morning as we continue this conversation. Paula and I will start at 7 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. where Rob is. And then Rob and Nico will join us at the 30-minute mark. And we'll continue the outcome of this election and some more of this back-and-forth banter. And you can also support The Levine Show by going to levineshow.com. Follow us on a platform, give us a like. And yes, we also do memberships on YouTube and on Rumble through Locals. So thank you very much for having me on, gentlemen. It was a lot of fun. And I do hope we do more of this. I think
I
think Canada wants to see more of this East-West, liberal, conservative.
Yeah. Exactly,
the banker, come on, every once in a while.
Yeah, that was actually. I
he really raised the IQ of the show.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he had some.
There's a little chart as it's climbing, and Rob too. Congratulations!
Blasters and angry Canadian guys, knock it off. Watching this fight going on in the chat for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, this show may become evidence for whatever's going on down there. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what though? Angry Canadian is a massive troll. So good luck, Blaster. He's on the show every day almost.
Yeah,
he's great. So good luck.
Wow, they're looking at
good luck.
Address.
They're offering each other Tim Hortons. At least step up the coffee game, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the morning. We'll see you, Jason.
Have a good night.
See you, Nico. Bye, guys.